And we are back. The internet connection's messed up a little bit, but we'll get through that. We're back with a SummerSlam Roundtable edition. Hopefully you guys can hear us. The Square Table Degenerates, going to look up there and see what's looking up good.
You look like a dork.
Oh, it's a wrestling show.
He's got the Jey Uso glasses on.
You got to wear those at SummerSlam, dude.
All right, so we're here for a SummerSlam Roundtable or Square Table, whatever you want to call it. To my right, your left, it's Kim. Say hi, Kim.
Hi.
Next to her is Joe Rickman. Say hi, Joe.
Yo.
And there's Big Steve on the end.
Hey, guys.
Okay. So we're just going to discuss we're going to take off these fucking glasses first.
Thank you.
And we're going to discuss SummerSlam, some of the matches, et cetera, et cetera. It's actually in Cleveland. First time in 28 years it's been in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Wow. I was at the last one.
Yeah.
Last one was in 1996. I was 19 years old.
Shawn Michaels and Vader.
That was a really good
Yes,
match.
it was.
Wasn't that the Boiler Room Brawl between
Yes, it was. Undertaker and Mankind.
Okay.
Yep.
The
Yes.
infamous heel turn of Paul Bearer.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, he switched on Undertaker then?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
he
when he
did.
joined up on Mankind.
That was a long fucking time.
Yeah, I know.
Jesus Christ. That thing was, that was AOL. I had AOL. I still got the AOL email address. All these years
he
later.
does.
You ever got Joe at AOL.com. Still out there. All right, so we were looking at the card, the pre-show, and there's only like 7 matches. 6, 7 matches, right?
Seven,
That's
yeah.
not, and 2 of them are women matches. Now, this is a lot less matches than I remember pay-per-views having.
What's the
No?
difference if it's a women's match or not?
Well, I'm just saying, what if somebody doesn't want the women's match? What if they want 20 guys matches or something?
All the men that are going to be there want to see the women's matches.
That's true. They probably want to check out.
I don't know, though. Looking at some of the women wrestling, do you really...
Rhea Ripley's beautiful.
Well, yeah, Ripley, Ripley and Liv are like my first and second wives fighting each other.
Right.
But as far as Bayley and Nia Jax goes,
I want to see Bayley win, but I don't think she's going to. I think Nia's going to win, and I think Tiffany's going to turn on her.
I think she catches in.
Yep.
I don't know about Tiffany turning, but I want to see Nia have a short run, maybe a short run as champion. But you got to remember though too is you have Nia being the queen of the ring. Now when is the real queen coming back?
Yes.
Exactly.
Couple months.
Mrs. Andrade.
Yes.
All right, so who's not going to be on the card? Let's start with all the surprises first and work backwards. You guys were talking about Reigns earlier, but do you think Charlotte Flair is going to come back tonight?
No, we don't know.
Nah.
No.
I guess she was recently interviewed, and they said she's going to need about 2 or 3 more months. So she's thinking October.
Yeah.
That she'll be fully cleared to return to action.
What hurt? What did she hurt?
Her meniscus.
She tore her ACL, all 3 ligaments.
How long ago was this?
It was almost a year ago already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like Nick Chubb's injury then, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
But she will be in Cleveland. I believe she is doing autograph sections at. Now, where's the world going to be at? Is it like convention center or someplace downtown?
There's a comic. There's a wrestling con going to be at Key Tower.
Yeah, I wanted to
it's all
go.
weekend.
I wanted to go to that so bad, but work schedule wouldn't allow it.
Yeah.
I got a Kurt Angle bobblehead that I wanted him to sign.
He's going to be there too.
Did I tell you about Kurt Angle? And tried to get him on the show. He wanted $2,000 for 45 minutes. Isn't that wild?
That's I mean,
because it was him and Canseco. Jose Canseco wanted his. I didn't talk to them specifically. I talked to agents, obviously. And Jose Canseco wanted $1,500 for an hour, and Kurt Angle wanted $2,000 for 45 minutes. I was like, "You're out of your goddamn mind." I mean, if I know numbers by now, right?
I know the most we've ever spent is like 500.
Yeah.
Right?
And like I said, I know numbers by now. If I got Kurt Angle on, you probably give me about 500-600 views, give or take.
Yeah.
2,000. That's like $3 a view. Like that's not even. It's silly. It'd be ridiculous. Like I'm not doing that. But Kurt Angle's a nice guy. I guess nice enough. I don't know. I mean, I could have negotiated down. I'm sure. I mean, I could have been like, hey, but at the end of the day, I'm in for free now. It's
yeah. Hey, and also speaking of Angle, 26 years ago this week, won the Olympic gold medal with a broken freaking neck.
I've seen that meme 100 times. I've seen him 100 times, and I call bullshit. His neck was not broken like that. He might have had like a hairline fracture in his neck.
Probably, yeah.
But like that's like saying I'll get my legs cut off and ran a marathon. That's
there's no way you win an Olympic gold medal with a fully broken neck. unless you're on some really powerful stuff that the Olympics probably wouldn't let you be on.
Yeah, and that's most of the stuff I do. Shouts out to the Olympics and everybody who's able to be on the Olympic team this year because of weed. Shikari Richardson, if you're out there, definitely read your DMs. I want to have you on the show. But back to the wrestling. What's the first women's match you were going through? What is it?
Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley.
All right, so you got 8-6 Liv Morgan coming into Cleveland facing the 9-3 Liv Ripley.
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley.
Joe is horrible with wrestling.
I'm not. hey, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I mean, I'm wrestling adjacent, but like, I don't watch. I don't like every week. I don't keep up with Raw. And I know it frustrates a lot of guys because Steve will mess with me sometimes. Like, did you see it? I'm like, I didn't see it. So it's like,
Yeah.
so I try.
Going, oh my god.
Well, I'm always the example. I say, if you could pull me in, then as a wrestling promoter, you're probably doing a good job. You know what I mean? Like these three guys will watch wrestling. They'll watch whatever. They don't care. They're diehards. It's like me and Browns football. I'll watch all the Browns games no matter what. But if it's a really good game, Kim might check it out. But like, that's like that with wrestling. If it's every pay-per-view, these guys will probably check it out. If it's a really good one, I'm probably going to watch it. So I'm the litmus test. So regardless, you got Rhea Ripley. She's the... I'm trying to picture what she looks like, Rhea Ripley.
Black hair.
All the dark makeup.
Australian golf.
Dark makeup.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. She's the golf looking chick with the
Yeah.
shaved head. Okay.
Yeah.
And then she's facing that little Liv Morgan, the little
Morgan.
blonde.
Yeah.
I think she's Harley Quinn.
Ripley's gonna destroy it. I mean, I don't know.
I'm gonna counteract that and say that Liv Morgan's gonna retain because Dominic is gonna turn and join with Liv Morgan.
Oh, no,
I think the same.
Yes.
is one of these ladies the champion? Is this Rebel?
Yeah, Liv Morgan's the world champion.
Yeah,
Morgan's the
Liv
champ.
Morgan's now what happened with that is Rhea Ripley was the champion. Liv Morgan injured her, and then Ripley had to vacate the title. Becky Lynch won the title. Then Liv Morgan beat Becky Lynch for the title.
Right.
So now Rhea Ripley is coming for revenge on the woman that injured her,
Yes.
and is also kind of in storyline moving in on her dude Dominic.
Yes.
Dominic Mysterio.
So Dominic's dating Rhea in the show.
Yes.
Yeah,
In a storyline, yes.
Storyline, of
In a
course.
storyline.
Wait, isn't Rhea taller than them?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's kind of
but
odd.
Dominic's taller than his dad.
That's true. Well, everybody's taller than that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know why Liv said he's so good looking because he is not.
Doesn't Dominic have a mullet? I mean,
Yes.
it's,
A
Yeah.
very long mullet.
Yes.
Yeah.
now who is Liv Morgan going out with in real life?
Actually, she's single. A couple weeks ago, she did an
Yes.
interview saying she's single. So she broke her and Bo Dallas broke
Oh,
up.
Dallas. Yes.
So Bo Leave. Okay, that's the only connection I actually have is 'cause
Yeah.
we had Redbeard.
Yeah.
Redbeard's the only active guy they've had on, I think.
Yeah. Liv Morgan, Bo left.
Yeah.
All right, so I think Angie says that she thinks that Rhea's going to win. I would say that too. I mean, I don't really know the storylines, but if I'm just looking at this, I mean, Rhea just comes in there and just dominates
I
me.
don't.
But you think it's going to Dominic's going to switch?
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
For
He's
sure.
gonna-
Yeah.
He's going to cost Ripley the
It's
title.
either going to be him or it's going to be Finn Balor
Yes. Yes.
because Finn Balor is her.
I
ally.
got something for him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Balor.
I think Balor's going to get involved in the Priest and Gunther match. And he's going to turn on Priest and help Gunther win the world title.
Yep.
Mm,
And that's going to set up the feud between Balor and Priest going forward.
Yep.
Okay. So we got 3-1 that Rhea's going to lose. You guys all got Liv.
yeah, I got Liv. Dominic's gonna switch. I
Yep.
think Dominic right now is better off as a heel. Now I think eventually he'll go babyface. Like what I've heard is they're trying to get a PLE down in Mexico, and that would be like Rey Mysterio's like retirement show.
Did you hear about the Survivor Series?
Yes.
Yeah, it's in Vancouver.
Yes, we saw
So
that earlier.
Sami Zayn is gonna be in the main event confirmed.
Probably.
More on that later when we get
Yeah.
when we get to it. But yeah, Dominic's much better as a heel. And honestly, I love Liv. I think she's such a great character. She brings the sex appeal that the guys want. She's good in the ring. And I think for her to drop the title now would just be kind of like a waste of a title ring.
She
Like-
was a placeholder.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I think she deserves more.
I do too.
Now, I think going into WrestleMania season, I think Ripley will eventually regain the title,
yeah.
just not
Yeah.
just not Saturday.
Right.
Now you touched on something that's funny to make the guys happy is what you said, and that made me laugh because as some of these wrestling adjacents, I think that some of these ladies have sex appeal. But if I was and I know Kim hates when I talk about shit like this, but if I was the guy in charge of like costumes, I'd ban a couple things on the women. I'd ban fake hair. I just don't. It just fucks up a lot of them.
You don't want to see the real hair.
No.
And I would ban the non-natural colored hair. Like no more of this neon.
Right.
No more. I mean, maybe for Asuka, but everybody else is.
Asuka's cute that way, though.
Everybody else got to get rid of it. I mean, it looks like
Joe, I would suggest you go see Nia Jax on TikTok without makeup on. You'll have a whole different version of.
No,
Actually, he might like Nia Jax without because when her hair is natural, he likes that hair.
I do like natural hair. That's very true.
It's naturally curly,
but
and it's poofy. It's
sometimes though they go overboard with the makeup.
Oh my god, the makeup.
And there's just so many examples of it. Yeah.
Well, that's not just women wrestlers. That's a lot of women. Just they put on so much makeup, and they do filters, and you don't even know what they look like.
I only do my eyes. I don't know.
All right, Troy says hi. Welcome to the party,
Troy.
Yeah, Mick was talking about that boxing thing. Everybody was talking about that.
Logan Paul weighed in on that.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this.
Evil.
Say this about how I say everything about that kind of stuff. Not that I root against. I just don't physically care. I mean, and I say it like that because every single time you talk about something like this, 3-4 comments in, it turns into shit. So I just don't care. I mean, bottom line, I'm not a female wrestler. I'm not a trans person. If they want to do what they want to do, obviously have at it. And it's not for me to debate. I mean,
if it was me, I'd still beat his ass.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, if we do have a bio woman, stomp a trans woman, who knows what that says about the movement, regardless. Are we going to the event? Yes. Me, Kim, and Steve are going to the event. Unfortunately, Sergeant Rickman over here is got to work.
Yeah.
So, I told him to, but then I told him to do a lot of stuff, but then he's like, I can't do that because I don't have that kind of arsenal. And and he's like, I'm going to show up like DX on the tank. And I was like, we don't have the keys to the tank. So, unfortunately, Sergeant Rickman is going to be MIA at the event.
I will be checking in live, though.
Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be watching. Now, see, this is a contention point with Kim over here. She doesn't like the loud shirts, but they want to find me in the crowd. Now, I'm going to be up in the dog pound. If you guys know what Brown Stadium is.
I have to pick out his outfit. It's not going to work.
For this one, for the pay-per-view, I told her that she could. I mean, she's not to pick it out, but she has veto power. Like I'm not gonna, hey, here's this bright green shirt. She doesn't let me wear whatever. And I'll probably wear something casual. I don't know. I mean, it's because we're not really in the camera zone, to be honest with you. So for like me to get on camera, somebody would have to like come up through the dog pound or something. I seriously doubt it's gonna happen. So
you never know.
And yeah, I mean, and I've been on TV 1,000 times. I mean, hell, I'm on TV right now. So it's like. The stigma of being on TV is kind of gone for me. It's not like it's 1994 anymore.
Well, you might have Braun Breaker come through the dog pound. You never know.
That's true.
It's true.
Well, I got the good old GoPro for the GoPro and the stick for the thing. So if anything comes up, I'm bringing that with me. So and I could do whatever we need to.
I'm pretty sure Logan Paul's gonna have his own entrance.
Logan Paul.
Being in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Well, that's the reason why they're starting at like 4 because Logan Paul is like a half an hour Prince Namedi entrance.
Pre-show.
Yeah. What's the pre-show?
It starts at 4.
These guys start at 4.
Yeah.
3-hour pre-show. Yeah.
That's a long time.
That is a long time. Yeah.
That's a serious. What the fuck? Are we bringing down there for? Because I know she's not going to want to not miss the pre-show. So, but we're on
I'm not getting down there for.
Oh, now.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not gonna. Do you think I'm gonna be able to stand over there for a while?
Yeah, you messaged me saying it's 12 o'clock. I'm like, dude, are you insane?
That's
Like, you want to be downtown for 11 hours?
My goodness
You're out of
gracious.
your fucking mind, dude.
And if it's like past events, they'll probably have a panel like outside the stadium. So
Well, the other
hopefully not in a rainstorm.
Okay, so I heard it's supposed to rain in the morning, but the evening part of the day.
Yeah, it's supposed to be cleared out. Yes.
Well, and here's the thing: it's Cleveland, and it's a big event, so it's going to rain. Yeah.
Well, tomorrow it's supposed to rain all freaking day.
So
They're supposed to be doing that press thing.
Yeah, so
tomorrow.
I hope Michael Cole got his poncho back from Samoa Joe.
And nothing beats down by the lake rain. We was down there for the draft, 2021 NFL draft, and the first day at least, it rained the whole fucking time. The whole time it rained. My goodness, I lost the video because it's on the old computer. Just went shit, but they let everybody go onto the field to practice field goals, and I was standing in line for like an hour doing this. My legs were all shot from the cold rain. I wide left, like I didn't even get it above 6 feet of ground. It was embarrassing. Thank God.
But did you do better than Gronkowski did?
Probably not. Actually, probably not. Fuck, that was an embarrassing day.
All right.
But so who is the? Carlo was talking about the CM Punk match. The CM
That
Punk
is going to be brutal.
That's probably going to be the match of the night, in my opinion.
He is wrestling. So who is
Yes.
who is CM Punk wrestling and what is it?
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. Fragile Phil is wrestling Drew McIntyre.
And this, unbelievably, this is CM Punk's first televised WWE match in over 10 years.
Really?
His last appearance was the Royal Rumble of 2014.
Actually, he was in the Royal Rumble this year. That's where he got hurt.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Well, first
one-on-one,
singles man. First,
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Of
first
course-
one-on-one.
first-
That's
Of
right.
course,
one-on-one.
of course, Fragile Phil's so fragile he can barely wrestle in any one-on-one matches anymore.
Now, is this a stipulations match? Is this a cage
Seth
match?
Rollins is the special guest.
It's a
referee,
one-on-one match with Seth Rollins as a special guest referee.
and he hates both of them.
Is there any? Is there no holds barred? Or is it just
No.
regular rules?
Yeah. It's a regular match.
It's billed as a regular match, but I don't.
So one of those things
You
you
can-
actually
you
get.
can
Okay.
pretty much expect anything
It's
to
one of those
happen.
like unwritten rules. Like, okay, this match ain't ending in a DQ.
Yeah.
I have a very crazy theory about this
All right.
match. Okay, so we're gonna talk about this match now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So did either of you see Drew McIntyre's Instagram photo with a certain
Yes.
Yes.
Luke
Yes.
Perry
Yes.
or Jack
Jack
Perry?
Perry.
Jack Perry's son?
Yes.
Now, wouldn't it be crazy if Jack Perry did a run-in? Now, WWE doesn't have to acknowledge him. I mean, I don't see it happening,
That's not
but
gonna
happen.
how
That's not gonna
crazy
happen.
would it have been?
Wait, you
Yes.
talking about Jungle Boy?
Yes.
Yeah,
I like that guy.
Triple
Yeah.
H would. He
Yeah.
would put.
they're
no,
working.
absolutely
Hey, they're
not.
working with TNA.
Well,
Yeah.
TNA's a different story.
Yes.
I would rather see Dolph Ziggler run in,
Yeah.
as opposed to Jack Perry. I cannot stand.
All right.
Jack
Well,
Perry.
you two seem to not like Jungle Boy. What's your deal? What do you do?
Oh, he
boy,
doesn't
that's-
know the
that's-
story.
No.
Okay. Let me.
Give
All right,
a
let me
go
quick
right ahead.
recap, Joe. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so when CM Punk first came back to wrestling, he came back to AEW. They basically treated him like he was Hulk Hogan in WCW, gave him all that
All
power,
right.
and he got into a backstage
Altercation.
altercation fight, whatever you call it, with Jack Perry, because basically Jack Perry wanted to use real glass in a stunt, and CM Punk's like, nah, that's not a good idea. But I think CM Punk gets a bad rap for that because CM Punk was not a vice president. He wasn't a boss. There's no reason why he shouldn't even have been involved in that situation. Like, they shouldn't have even have wit to CM Punk to kind of talk Jack Perry out of it. You know, you have Tony Khan, the president. You have the Young Bucks. You will eventually.
Tony Khan has no say in what goes on in AEW anymore.
Do you think
Well,
Khan?
that's why Shane McMahon's taking over.
Yeah,
It's going to be Hogan and Bischoff and TNA all over again.
All right. So two things on that. Do you think Khan knows where he's even at half the time?
no,
No.
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 not at all.
Because I do a lot of drugs, and I can see people on drugs. And he looks to be on drugs.
Yes.
Dude's coked out. Okay.
All right. So, and then secondly, there's pictures and rumors of this McMahon thing. Is this going to be?
That would actually happen last week. There was a meeting between
yes.
Shane McMahon and Tony Khan.
Yes.
Is this going to be, just another brand extension, or is this going to be an actual thing against?
No,
I think
it's going to be Shane McMahon's
Yeah,
going
I
to
think
talk
he's
Tony
actually-
Khan into giving him
Yes, I
like
think he's going to do
more power
yes.
than what he
He's
what
gonna
he
run
deserved.
I think it's going to be a legit takeover.
And Shane,
He's gonna run
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's going to be for the longtime fans. Remember when Hogan and Bischoff took over TNA in 2010? You're going to see it again.
You think it's going to be that bad? I think.
Yeah.
I think what's his name? Who's the guy we're talking about? Not the time guy. I don't forgot his name.
Shane.
Yeah, Shane McMahon. I think he's a decent match guy, ideas wise. No, doesn't he have that? Remember that one little?
He was always a high flyer.
Yeah, didn't he used to have? Remember that cool thing he had with the one camera angle and it was like a 3-minute break? Remember that?
Yeah.
Just random shit like that. I mean, maybe he'll breathe some life into it. I mean, I look at TNA. I've been to a couple of those because they give them away at Vetix.
Yeah, I know.
And I mean, the product is just stale. It's there's a lot of.
TNA's coming around though.
See,
They're throwing a lot of money at these older guys, but they got a lot of like doughy guys. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they're not in shape kind of
Yeah.
thing. And it is what it is. I'm a fat fuck, but like if you're at that level, you should be
Now they've got Dolph Ziggler, they've got Mustafa Ali. Those guys are in shape
Yeah.
and they're still going.
See, the thing about TNA is it kind of like rebounded from its dying days.
Yeah.
But the thing is now, it's like TNA's probably a victim of an oversaturated wrestling landscape because now there's just so much wrestling. And as wrestling fans, you're either going to watch WWE first or AEW first, but wherever you don't watch first, you're going to watch WWE, AEW 1, 2, most wrestling fans. And then you just don't have enough hours in your life to watch everything.
True.
I mean, even people that follow wrestling for a living, they have to pick and choose,
Right.
what to watch. And
Unless you got like 3 different TV sets.
Yeah.
Hooked up to different like.
Well, I mean, even then too, you got NXT. Then there's NXT Europe, and they got
not anymore. They don't.
Oh, they got rid of NXT Europe. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, they
That's
got
why Gunther is in America.
okay.
Well,
okay.
see, I heard the thing is like if Gunther wins the world title, they said they should do a scene where they basically throw like a parade for Gunther when they go to Germany and hire all the NXT Europe guys back as fans for the parade.
That would be funny.
Yeah. But back on track for the CM Punk Drew McIntyre. I'll go my pick first.
Go ahead.
I'm picking Drew.
All right.
Drew, no offense to Gunther or Damian Priest, Drew should be the world champion right now. And I'm not going to get involved in all of that. But the original feud has always been Rollins and Punk. That was the feud that WWE wanted for WrestleMania, but Fragile Phil got hurt. So, and then Seth Rollins got hurt too. So that kind of wiped those plans out. But Punk and Rollins has always been the feud WWE wanted to go to. And the Drew McIntyre feud basically fell in their lap because Drew has been like awesome on social media. So I think what I'd like to see is Drew win and then go on to possibly, if Gunther does win the title
That
Saturday,
would be a good match.
to challenge Gunther. Oh, they've had hell of great matches.
Yeah.
To challenge Gunther in Germany. Because like I said, Drew, he should be world champion, but he's not because they want to experiment with Damian Priest. But more on that later. But right now, I'm picking Drew McIntyre. And I know that Jack Perry isn't going to interfere, even though as cool as I think that scene would be.
Yes. Like less than 1% chance.
I know, yeah. But I mean, I realize that, but that'd still be a cool scene. But I wouldn't be surprised if the NXT group Gallus came up and helped Drew. Maybe Drew gets some backup.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a possibility. That's one theory I've seen floating around. And another theory is like Rollins is basically going to screw Punk like Shawn Michaels did Bret Hart at SummerSlam '97.
Little screw job thingy.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I have no part. Funny aside here, Mr. B. That's Rob. Because I remember watching David Boy Smith. Before he went to the U.S. He used to wrestle at Bellevue in Manchester. He was a skinny lad back then. Definitely R.I.P. David Boy Smith. Great wrestler.
Yeah.
I think.
It was a lot of fun.
I have no knowledge of the lead up to this, but I mean, it seems like a match CM Punk is just destined to win. I mean, he hasn't. We got to be real about CM Punk. He hasn't won anything. WCW, NWA, TNA,
AEW.
even MMA isn't when UFC anything like 15 years, dude. So I think just on GP, they're going to give him a nice, solid win. I think he might get a clean pin or a tap on this one. I think,
I don't think so.
you don't think?
No.
No, Drew's going to kill him. He wants to kill him.
Yeah, my pick is CM Punk. I don't think that WWE is going to have CM Punk lose, especially with him being gone for over 10 years. His first match, singles match back. I think this is my pick for match of the night, and I think it's going to be violent.
Definitely.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be all over the place. And I see this match ending with something happening, and Seth Rollins is forced to make the pin. But I do see CM Punk beating Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam.
Now here's another question, more towards for you two, because Joe probably doesn't understand the backstory. But do you think all the water is under the bridge between Paul Levesque and CM Punk?
I do.
I don't.
Or do you think it's just like
No, they hate each
they
other.
understand money?
Yeah.
Paul holds a grudge.
They understand money.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh,
all about the only
Yeah,
reason CM Punk is even back in WWE
Yeah.
is because of money. It's because of money.
Yeah.
Well,
He's a money maker. He's a fucking
Yes.
money god. It seems
Yes,
look at the Logan Paul later, but he's the only reason he's there too because he's a fucking money maker. You gotta have somebody to hate.
Don't get me started on Logan yet.
Yeah.
Don't get me
We'll get
started
there.
on Logan.
But in wrestling,
I could beat that little fucker.
wrestling is a yah rah rah or boo business. You gotta have somebody to like. You gotta have somebody to hate.
Exactly.
And
A face and a heel.
Yeah, you can't have all these people you like and maybe some you don't like a little bit less, but you still like. You gotta have people you abjectly hate. And there is absolutely no reason in the world
CM Punk and Logan Paul.
to like guys like that. Yeah, well,
I know you like
Oh,
it.
you're good.
Fragile Phil.
I have my reasons why
Yeah.
I don't like Punk.
yeah, all the Brits are chiming in there. Captain State Wrestle's been shit since the British Bulldogs split up. Yes, we got a lot of love for the British Bulldogs tonight. When was the last time you guys saw the British Bulldogs wrestle? If you can remember off the top of your head.
Jesus. I was at a match here in Cleveland, and I was with a friend and her son. But I can't remember when it was. It had to be. Let's see.
Joe.
I forgot who was wrestling because my brother saw him at the bar afterwards,
Okay.
Yep.
and he thought it was. My brother came home and goes, "These guys were talking about this girl that's crazy at ringside." And I'm like, "Oh."
Hey, Davey Boy has some, I
Yeah.
think Davey Boy was Juicer. No, he was on the road.
Oh, yeah,
He was a fucking tight guy. And Bulldog, they probably had several iterations of Matilda the Bulldog, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Because we had Jake on. Jake said there was a different Damien in every city. There was no snake consistency there.
Yeah. Yeah, the last time I remember the Bulldogs was probably like Survivor Series 88 down at the Richfield Coliseum. I wasn't there live, but just watching it on the Peacock.
Yeah.
And they were involved in that crazy 20-man tag where it was like 5 teams on each side.
I remember that. I love the
That was like one of my favorite like matches.
The
It was like
old-
the 90s the last time I saw him.
old Survivor Series, not when they went to 4-4, but the original first couple years when it was 5 versus 5. That was golden. And my favorite was when they had the 5 tag teams versus the 5 tag teams. They had
Yes.
20 guys. And yeah,
Yes.
fucking conquistadors out there.
I remember that.
God, it was amazing. Those were the days.
And then Jesse Ventura on commentary yelling he should put money on him. But honestly, talking about the British Bulldogs, I think Dynamite Kid's son, is it either his son or his nephew?
Yeah, he does.
He got
wrestle.
some tryout. He got some
Okay.
tryout matches with AEW as like local enhancement talent.
Carlos says, I love Kane. Kane's doing some kind of thing at something. Part of me wanted to, because I kind of look like Kane when I shave my head. Part of me just wanted to like shave and just stand outside the thing and pretend I was Kane and like, hey, everybody go in here to see if
Okay, trust me, they'd know you weren't King.
Isaac Yankum's better. Longtime fans know that.
Here's some blast. Where's Big Dead Giant Haystacks Calhoun? Oh, there's a
Oh,
guy.
jeez.
Oh yeah.
That was a
Oh, you know what? Let me speak a little bit on that. Remember, he was actually Loch Ness in WCW. For a project I'm working on for next year, I'm like rewatching all of the Monday Night War. So I'm into like March of '96, and yeah, Haystacks Calhoun was Loch Ness.
okay.
They brought him in for a very short time.
He had been well into his 50s then, no? I mean,
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, he was
Yes.
old. And the dude couldn't move. Like, he had a match with, like, Scotty Riggs. It was, like, one of the worst matches, like, ever.
Riggs is meeting up with Buff. They were doing the thing. It's funny seeing Buff in his little fake life. And I love Buff. I do. It was a great interview. Boy,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to sit there. And I follow him on social media. You never watch the show, so I can say whatever. I think what he's doing is just all fake. Doesn't it look fake?
Yes.
Looks fake as hell. He's got this
Yes.
35-year-old girlfriend out there. You know that's not his girlfriend, probably. He's probably some chick he knows. There's no
Yeah,
way.
Some model.
Yeah, some model maybe. Maybe it is his
Do a
girlfriend. I don't
couple-
know.
Like, probably throw a couple grams, couple grand or a couple grams. Says, like, hey, walk out with me.
But he does. I mean, if he's sober, I can't really judge the rest. I mean, because he's not. But I do want to say though, because I saw the Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah.
And you guys are. I think you guys are both here when we interviewed Buff, and the same story he told at the beginning of the thing I had.
I was there for Brutus. I wasn't there for Buff.
Oh, you weren't there for Buff.
Yeah.
You were for Buff, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he told the exact same story as at the beginning of Dark Side of the Ring. Word for fucking. He gets so much mileage out of it. I'm almost to the point where I don't think that happened. I call bullshit on the gun on his dad's story. It didn't go down like that. Fuck out of
I
here.
mean, he's a wrestler, so it wouldn't surprise me if it was fake.
They're actors.
Nothing-
That's
yeah,
true.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked to some of these guys. I talked to the Dundee guy, and I think he tells so many stories. PG-13. Jimmy Ice, whatever.
Yeah.
I think he tells so many stories. I don't think they know what's true and what's fake half the time anymore. I really don't.
Also, too, like all the damage and all the head damage they've taken in their careers, they probably don't.
Yeah, this is true.
So.
Oh, the Dark Side of the Ring is good, like Carlos says. The Sensational Sherry one was great. Did you see that one? Her son was like he had some kind of disorder or whatever. But like the way she not to get too sidetracked, but the way Sherry like gave up all her, womanly life for wrestling was just kind of fucking. It was almost sad, really. It'd be like almost you abandoning Kayla and just going on the road and eventually coming back. It was just really. It was really crazy, man. All right, what was the other girls match? The other girls match was there.
We talked about them.
There was two girls matches, right?
We did Nia Jackson, Bailey, and Liv and Rhea.
Oh, did we do that?
We didn't do Nia Jax.
We didn't do Nia Jax one yet.
No.
Oh,
So
no?
who's Nia Jax facing?
Bailey.
Bailey.
Okay.
That's because we talked about it at first, and we all think that Nia's going to win.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Nia's the Snuka. No, that's Tamina Snuka. That's a different one.
Yeah.
But Nia has that same build as Tamina Snuka, right? Okay.
Yeah. And Nia is also related somewhere to that.
I was gonna say, is this one of the Samoans?
yeah,
Yeah.
she's part of the
Yeah.
dynasty.
Isn't those? I saw a meme. And you guys can tell me if it's true. It said that Rikishi has 7 kids or some shit. There's a lot more coming to the dynasty, and they showed all
Yes.
this.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And
We'll get to that when we get to the main
yeah.
event.
Like Solo has 7 kids.
And let me ask you this though: do you think that WWE is leaning way too hard on this dynasty thing right now? Do you think
Yes.
they're going to go too far on it?
I mean, it's carried them for almost 5 years now.
I
so.
mean, I equate it to NWO. You remember when NWO was in WCW? The NWO got so big, it almost overshadowed the rest of WCW, and people didn't care about the rest.
Right.
Do you think that's going to happen with this? Is there any chance of that?
No. And
No, I think they're going to try to keep it as fresh as they
Yes,
possibly can.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
And-
go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons too you got to remember is Rock is legitimately on the board of directors,
Yes.
and there is a lot of speculation that he was the one that basically hired Jacob Fatu. Like before Rock came on the board, WWE didn't want to have anything to do with him. Rock comes on the board, and 2 months later he signed. Like, I mean,
A
it
bunch
doesn't
of them are
take.
signed.
Yeah, yeah, you
A
got
bunch of them are signed.
Yes.
which I mean, you can't hate on it. It's like the whole people want to hate on LeBron for getting his son drafted. I mean, if you're on the board of directors, if your family is able to do the job, and if you're on a board of directors on a major company, of course you're going to hire your family. And it's not like, and that's nothing against Jacob. Jacob Fatu is an awesome
He is.
competitor.
I like the
mean-
fact they gave him the nickname Werewolf. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, I mean, if it
That
wasn't
is
for his
awesome.
legal trouble, he probably would have been in the company like 3-4 years ago.
So
Describe his legal trouble. I always like that kind of
Oh,
story.
he's got all kinds of shit going on. So he did an interview, and I saw it last week, I think it was, and they were asking him about Roman Reigns. He goes, "Let me tell you," he goes, "Roman Reigns is up here." He goes, "I am down here." He goes, "Maybe one day I'll get to here, but I will never be at Roman Reigns' level."
Yeah.
I was like, "Damn."
Yeah. Well,
I was like, "All right, at least he's honest."
Yeah, That's true for a lot of wrestlers.
Right.
yeah, speaking on the current topic, have you guys heard about the Gargano fire last week at the Gargano
Yes.
on
Yeah,
25th?
yes.
Yeah.
And
There was some talk that they were actually going to turn that into a story and blame it on the Bloodline, because the Bloodline is going against the Gargano and Ciampa tomorrow night.
oh, that'd be tacky though. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying.
Yeah,
but
I don't think they're going to take it that far.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny about the Garganos thing, Joe, is that I've known people who've worked for Garganos, and I was telling Kim this. I never made the connection. Johnny
Never.
Gargano. Not
Yeah.
one time. And Johnny Gargano's from Cleveland too. And it was
Oh, I
fun.
remember going. They have indie shows back in their parking lot back in the day. I remember going to some of those.
Robert Park says hi to Joe. What's up, Robert?
What's up, Big
Mr.
Rob?
Park in the house. Do we think we'll answer this question and we'll go back to the match.
Yes.
Do you think Roman Reigns is coming back at
Yes.
SummerSlam?
Yes, we do.
100%.
Yes, 100%.
So these guys follow a lot of the what do they call it?
I'm not
Chat
saying
sheets.
Yes.
I'm not saying 100% of him
I am.
returning.
I
I
think
think
he's.
it's a highly possibility.
I think he's bringing.
Hikuleo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Him with him.
Yes.
I really
See,
do.
I
Because he's
don't-
already signed.
I don't think they're jumping that far ahead in the story. I think, and we'll get to. I'll spell out my theory when we get to the match. But I also think, as far as like Roman Reigns goes, there is a slight possibility that you save his return for the SmackDown debut on USA.
Mm.
But I think it just because you have Cody and Solo in the main event. If either Solo doesn't win the belt or Roman doesn't return, if Cody just retains flat and that's it, that would be like, I think that's such a flat ending. But we'll get into we'll get more into that later.
All right, so is there
the Nia Jax or Bailey?
Well, I mean,
That's the one we were working on.
Is there a champion on this?
Bailey's the world champion.
Bailey's
the champion.
Wait, there's two champions?
Yes.
One for SmackDown, one for Raw.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going with Bailey to beat Nia Jax.
Okay.
And then Tiffany Stratton cashes in and becomes a world champion.
It's too soon for her, I think. Obviously, she's a project. They see something in her. Not only did she win the Money in the Bank, but she did that. But then again, they did something with her and Trish in Toronto. So maybe if Tiffany does cash in, maybe they do Tiffany and Trish at Survivor Series in Vancouver.
Yeah.
So who are you picking?
I'm picking Nia. I just think she's been there so long and she hasn't had a title. I don't think it's going to be a very long reign.
No, I don't think it's going to be very long at all because I believe
she's keeping the belt warm. She's keeping the belt warm for Charlotte.
Yes.
Right, she's sitting out there like she's like an egg. She's like a substitute mother hen.
Yeah. Exactly.
She's a paper champion, placeholder.
Yeah. And really, that's her ceiling. I don't think she's good enough to be a full world champion to get that 6 month to a year title.
No, because she has a lot of botches.
Well, she can't. Yeah. She can't. She has no mic presence. This lady can't talk, as far as I see.
Yeah.
So, but I think she's.
But it's funny because she does all these TikTok videos and she's great in them.
It's different. It's weird though, because being up here, for example, talking right here when we're talking like this, totally different than say talking in front of people you don't know.
It's not though.
It's all psychological, but for somebody like that, when you're just doing the TikTok or you're doing whatever she does, that's a whole different ball of wax than trying to memorize these lines and make people laugh. Because maybe she's looking at the mic out of the corner of her eye, some fucking fat guy's like, "Fuck you, Nia." You know what I mean?
The thing is, two things. I'll tell you the first thing I think of when I think of Nia Jax. My hole.
Yep.
And the second thing is, but they, especially Nia Jax, who grew up in the PC, they train those people constantly to cut promos.
Yes.
That is promo class after promo class after promo class.
Yeah.
And, I'm sure Nia, TikTok, that's her real personality. She might be the best person in the world. I'm nothing against her personally.
She's really funny.
She's just not on that elite level.
And also, too, you touched on this way earlier, Joe, but she's not what they call traditionally beautiful, so to speak. So that's a hard bit. That psychologically got to fuck with you, especially with a bunch of people. Even if it's 1% of people oh, you're ugly, whatever, that's got to really eat at people. Especially the women wrestlers. You know what I mean? I don't know for a fact. I don't know for sure, but I know a lot of women are usually fragile with comments. And if, like I said, if you got 1,000 people and 1% of them are giving you shit comments, it's going to eat at you. So, but I still think Nia just smokes this one. I don't see her not losing this.
Nia's the female Yokozuna.
Yeah.
I want to get you guys' opinions real quick. Going back to Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, what do you guys think eventually Becky Lynch fits in? Is she done or is she coming back in some capacity?
I think she's coming back in some capacity. I think because she said that she wants to be a stay-at-home mom when her child goes into kindergarten. So we got another year and a half.
I'll tell you one thing. Maybe Rollins and Becky can't stay at home with each other because you realize when one person leaves, one person comes back, and then when they leave, the other person comes back. I'm like, wait a minute. Maybe
somebody's got to be there to take care of the baby.
Yeah, or maybe they're so cheap they can't afford a babysitter.
Dude,
they
I
have a bus. They have one of those tour buses.
I knew a guy and a girl in the guard who did that. They were it wasn't their first relationship. They was 2 divorced people hooked up later. But one would deploy for 6 months while the other stayed home. Then they would just alternate. That way, everyone because you could get the family separation pay when you deploy. So you get that extra money. They just go back and forth. They did it until they retired.
But I think she comes back, but I don't think she's going to be around much longer.
Becky will be a good person to maybe do one of those surprise returns at the Rumble, and then you put her into a main match at Mania, maybe going after one of the belts.
Right.
Maybe they do the rematch her and Ripley.
That would be a possibility. They always put on a good match.
Or her and Flair. Oh yeah, that was
All right, let's move on.
All right, before we get into that, we're kind of at the halfway point, but what is the available King of the Rings, Queen of the Rings that can be cashed in? And can you cash that in for any belt? Like say I'm the King of the Ring. Can I be like, I want the US belt, I want the world belt, I want the...
They get
the cash-ins
match.
are at SummerSlam because Gunther won the King of the Ring, so that's why he's going after the world title.
And Nia Jax won.
Nia
Jax won theirs. So,
Okay.
yeah, those are the two matches. For
By the
those.
way, Gunther and Randy Orton, very underrated match.
Oh,
I tell you, either Randy Orton was legitimately hurt, or he's one of the best sellers. And that's a good
Both.
thing is you don't, because you don't know.
Because you don't know. Because
Exactly. That's what makes it so great.
You know what's funny about Randy Orton is that in an alternate universe where Randy Orton doesn't go AWOL from the Marines, he probably goes to Afghanistan, and who knows? Because that would have been like right around that Tillman era and that build-up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's weird to think like that, but I mean, you think he got in, 98, other than honorable discharge in the year 2000. Not to spill his business out there, Paul McGregor. Boy, and the year after that was 9/11, so.
His discharge doesn't surprise me.
Right.
Well,
Old Randy Orton was kind of wild, man.
and Randy Orton has basically admitted that plenty of times.
All right. Let's go on. Let's go with Sammy and Braun.
Braun Breaker, right? He's got.
Yeah.
Let me go get some coffee when you guys talk about
Sure.
that. Give me about 20
All right,
seconds.
what do you guys think?
Braun. There's no way Sami Zayn beats him twice.
Nope.
And Rick Steiner is also going to be in attendance to watch
Oh,
his
is
son.
he?
Yes. He just arrived in Cleveland this morning. He's going to be at SummerSlam.
I think Braun looks more like his uncle than he does his dad.
He does. Hey, who knows? You
never know.
You never know. I mean, you never know in these sort of things. But yeah, I kind of feel bad. I think this IC title reign for Sammy has been disappointed,
It has been.
and it sucks because I'm such a big fan of Sammy, and it just seems like they've already telegraphed because they already have Sammy and Jay got the non-title win over Finn and JD on Raw a few weeks ago.
Right.
So, and like you said, like unless they have some kind of like white interference or even like a Brock Lesnar interference.
No, that's
No.
not happening.
They were
No.
they were told to stay away from
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar.
The lawyers advised them to stay
Yeah.
away from Lesnar. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because that whole
The
thing
Janelle
put on
Evans
hold
one.
for 6 months because the feds are looking into it.
Right.
Yeah, Vince
Vince is
is done.
All right, so wait, who are the guys? Braun Breaker, and who's the other guy in this?
Sami
Sami
Zayn.
Now, is this for a title reign?
IC title.
Intercontinental title.
Who's the champion now?
Sami Zayn.
All right, and
Yeah.
Braun Breaker hasn't been a title holder in a while,
No.
no?
Yeah.
Only in NXT.
Yeah, we were
And he
talking
has-
about his father's going to be in attendance, Rick Steiner.
Rick Steiner's Braun Breaker's brother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
I think-
Scott Steiner's nephew then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I think, well,
And by the
My-
way, if you
my
can't tell the
boy
family
Scott.
resemblance, they're blind.
I never knew that. I never knew
Yeah.
that.
My boy Scott.
It's a big Papa Pump.
Yeah.
Big
Tell him to
Papa
return his fucking message. I like to get Big Papa Pump on the show.
Yeah, Sami Zayn's already beat Braun Breaker once clean, and I don't see it happening again.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also too, you gotta because one thing you have to look at what they have like down the line.
There's no
So-
way
so
Braun
here's-
Breaker's not Rick Steiner's kid. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
it is.
Yes, he
He
is.
might be Scott's.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So here's
All right,
my problem
hey,
with
Dark
Sami
Side of
Zayn.
the Ring, investigate that.
Yeah.
My problem with Sami Zayn is he's not taking the title run seriously.
Yeah.
He's looking for his future, so he's gotten into comedy now. So he's not really. He's just holding the title. Is what
Yeah,
it's,
but I mean,
they did the same thing with Dolph Ziggler. When Dolph Ziggler was holding the title, he started doing the comedy,
Yeah. I think.
and then he left.
I think he loses the IC title tomorrow night, and then him and Jay form a tag team.
Yeah.
yeah, they've
And I think
already.
they're going to go to war with the Bloodline. Who's going to win the tag titles tomorrow night on SmackDown?
Well, no, it won't be the Bloodline to beat Finn and JD,
Well,
and
yeah.
I don't think Bloodline's winning the belts tomorrow night. But we'll,
I do.
All right, so
you're really gonna have Gargano lose in Cleveland 2 weeks after his father's
Yes.
business burned
Yes.
down?
Yes.
I do.
all right.
Yes.
Well, regardless, I think Braun's gonna win because
Yeah.
it's Cleveland.
Yes.
It's Cleveland, so Braun obviously are gonna have LeBron win because LeBron will probably be there.
No,
Okay.
LeBron's over in Paris.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, they're playing. Wait, no, they play yesterday. They play tomorrow, I think. Like you're playing. You got
He,
Puerto Rico.
he isn't coming to town
he's
just
not
for
coming
that.
down. He's in
Going back
Paris.
to Paris.
Even LeBron ain't racking up those.
I don't know, man. Taylor
miles.
Swift and fucking Kelsey been doing all that shit.
Yeah.
So
Well,
now, that's a good sidebar. I got Kelsey yours in the background randomly, but do you guys think? And I think it's inevitable at some point that one or both of the Kelsey brothers is in the WWE in some capacity.
one of them was in at one of the pay-per-views.
One of them made an appearance at WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
Jason.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I actually thought the other guy was Travis,
So
but
did
he was
I.
another Eagles player.
Yes.
Well, one of the proposed like ideas, kind of like fun, just for fun. But one of the proposed matches for SummerSlam was Jake and Logan Paul against Travis and Jason Kelsey.
No,
But that would have been.
I don't want to. No.
The battle
It's
of
bad
all
enough. I
Cleveland
gotta look
brothers.
at. It's bad enough. I got to look at Logan Paul,
Well, so you want the
I don't
Kelseys
want
versus the
the Paul brothers.
Paul? That'd be badass, actually.
The Paul brothers would fucking get killed.
That would be a great matchup.
They
Imagine the
get
tickets
killed.
sold on that one,
No.
man. Paul brothers versus. You guys are on this.
Well,
something,
hey,
man. You guys are on to
maybe when maybe the first WWE PLE at the new Brook Park Dome, because you know that's coming.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, maybe the first PLE at the Brook Park Dome. Maybe they do that match then.
100%.
All right, let's get into the big matches.
All right.
Logan Paul, LA Knight. My boy is gonna win.
All right. So, first off, is this for a title belt?
Yes.
Yeah.
What
Logan,
U.S. title.
Logan Paul is the
Logan
United
Paul's
States
is-
champion.
Okay.
Logan
Yes.
Paul's been the U.S. champion almost as long as the United States has been a country, and I think he's made 2 title defenses.
Yeah, 2.
Yes.
He's only made 2 title.
Part-time champion.
Two-
Right.
200
Part-time player.
200 some days as champion.
And Logan Paul is quite possibly the most hated guy
Yes.
in the
Absolutely.
face of the planet.
Absolutely. 100%.
And it's not like he's hated and then he does good shit behind the scenes.
No.
This guy's a fucking douche.
Yes.
Yes.
Like he would
Absolutely.
steal. He's a millionaire. He would steal $5 from
Yeah.
each of our wallets
I,
right
I,
now. This is Logan
I will be
Paul.
at 100%. I literally turn the TV off when he's on the screen. I cannot stand his
I
face.
cannot stand him.
He's horrible. He talks trash on the mic. He does a frog splash and thinks he's Eddie Guerrero. And LA Knight just needs to take that title, and
Oh my
Logan
God,
Paul
yeah,
needs
he does.
But
Logan Paul needs to
Did
go
you
away.
see LA Knight on Channel 3 this morning?
no.
He was on there. It was 6:45, and the guy that was interviewing him, because I don't watch Channel 3, he was like, "All right, say I'm Logan Paul." He goes, "What would you do to me right now?" He goes, "I'd smack you right upside your ugly head." I was like, "Okay."
I want to know how much caffeine he had to have to be up and do
So he
it
had his
at
shades on so
6:45.
that you couldn't see his bloodshot eyes.
Probably.
He told the interviewer, he's like, "I have mad respect for you people." He goes, "Because it's not me."
yeah. But I don't know. It's
I think this is a perfect time for. I think Logan to lose it.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, here in Cleveland,
Yes.
Especially
I mean-
since we all hate him.
right. I mean, it's
LA Knight has been waiting in the wings, and
Right.
he needs a title.
and we gotta be
Big time.
we gotta be real about LA Knight. I know. I mean, I don't really follow wrestling like that much, but even I know LA Knight and
Yeah.
the pop this guy gets when he comes out.
Oh, he is so over with the
It's
crowd.
irrefutable. I mean,
Yes.
this guy. Here's a guy who's probably going to be headlining WrestleMania, if not next year, in a couple years.
Yeah.
And he's a little older too. He's shockingly older. Kim says he's like 42.
Yeah, he's 42.
Yeah.
Which is
42.
a little old for guys
Yeah.
in this ilk, but I mean, most of these guys are well into their 50s. I saw fucking Jeff Jarrett was wrestling yesterday, and I was telling Kim,
he's
I was like, wait a minute, pause.
Wednesday
Yeah.
night.
tell you about Jeff Jarrett, like Double J Jeff
Yes.
Jarrett?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
in tribute to Jeff Jarrett, you know.
There you go.
Right, there's Jeff Jarrett, like J-double-E, that Jeff Jarrett, fucking 70 years old, was wrestling. And I'm not going to hate on the guy who's 41, 42 coming up. So I think LA Knight literally destroys Logan.
Yes.
I think it'll be a very clean pin. It'll probably be
Yes.
whatever LA Knight's finishing move is, 1, 2, 3, and then
I
the pin's blow up.
think Logan Paul will have one of his latchkeys around to try to
Yes.
interfere, but I don't think it's going to work because Knight's just going to tear him apart.
I swear to God, if I see I Show Speed in a fucking Prime uniform, I'm just going to push him down the fucking stairs.
Well, you might see her running by Joey Edwards at SummerSlam, ladies and gentlemen.
You want to talk about industry plants. I Show Speed. This guy has
Breathe.
don't have time to breathe. We're gonna keep up with fuckers like I Show Speed. This guy has absolutely no talent, none whatsoever. If being ADD and a complete moron was fucking talent, I Show Speed's your guy. All right, fuck out of here. Give me 1/100th of the fucking love that piece of shit gets. And the world will be a better fucking place, and your kids won't have the attention span of goddamn Patch and Dandelions. All right? Fuck out of here promoting this fucking piece of shit. Jesus Christ, industry playing much? Fuck. Moving right along.
Joey Edibles with the Paul Heyman promo, ladies and
LA
gentlemen.
Knight, 100%.
Night, 100%.
Right. I think that might be the lock of the night.
Yes.
No pun intended.
Well, I'm going to let him, because I'm about to cause another firestorm.
Okay, he's going Logan Paul.
Going Logan Paul.
Oh, God.
And nothing against LA Knight, but the same thing Joey Edibles said earlier. What is wrestling? Faces and heels. Logan Paul.
Right now, wrestling is LA Knight.
Yes.
He's more over than Cody.
Yeah.
But what has the WWE done? I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe LA Knight
There's
does.
no maybe, he is.
But
100%, he's more.
they
over
dropped
than
the
Cody.
ball on him. They
did. They dropped the ball.
And tomorrow's
For
going to be
them-
his redemption.
For
Saturday,
them,
I'm sorry.
for Vince to give him that Max Dupree, and he ran with it. He didn't even know what the hell he was doing. And then when he started coming through as LA Knight, man, people just went apeshit over him.
Yeah.
So he is more over than Cody will ever be.
You're getting a shock of
but here's what I'm thinking.
Angie's shocked. She's like, what? She does not want Logan to win.
Angie knows I don't want Logan to
I'm
win.
telling you who they're gonna have to take the belt off Logan Paul. If not LA Knight, Cena.
Cena's done.
Oh,
Cena's
that-
done.
He's not going to hold the belt until next year.
Oh,
He's not going to hold that belt until next year.
no.
But okay,
Because he's not defending it. They want somebody that's going to defend it.
If LA Knight wins the belt, what does he do with it? I
He
mean,
defends it every week.
he's gonna be a transitional champion to either like Carmelo Hayes or
But here's the thing:
Santos.
he's there every week.
Yeah.
Logan Paul is barely there. He is barely there, and people want to see championship matches
Absolutely.
every week.
Yes.
That's what they tune in to
Yes.
see.
fair, and
We need somebody that's going to be there every single week.
Yep.
And,
Just like Cody's been doing.
And my feeling is he's going to do one of those open challenges like Cena used to do. Because LA Knight doesn't care who you are; he will fight you.
yeah, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not picking Paul because I'm a big LA Knight fan too. I remember watching him when he was you are too.
Eli Drake.
Eli Drake, yeah. I remember like
Cameron Grimes.
yeah, well no, he wasn't Cameron Grimes, but yeah, Eli Drake, but yeah.
He
TNA
cut one hell of a promo while he was drunk in TNA.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Crazy.
The bottle of
I
champagne.
remember being drunk having to watch some TNA with my old co-host back in the day.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think if they were going to be behind LA Knight, they already would. They had the opportunity. When he wrestled Roman and Saudi, they didn't follow up. I mean, yeah, he did beat AJ Styles at Mania, but
And
that
that was a hell
was
of a match.
basically it was. But that was basically nullified when AJ beat him a week later to earn the title shot. So you're talking about Cody. That should have been the match at Backlash. It should have been Cody and LA Knight. So my thing is just
And
like,
Cody wants to wrestle LA Knight.
yeah,
He does.
So-
He's gone on record. One of their little after things, their little scrums or whatever they call them. He went on record as saying, they're like, who do you want to see next? And he said, LA Knight.
yeah,
And
and
he came right out and said it.
and my biggest thing with like LA Knight, it's almost like Daniel Bryan back in the day. I'll believe it when I see it. I think if they were going to get behind them, they already would have.
I mean, I see your point, but
Well, also
I-
the thing
And
about
honestly, I hope I'm wrong because, like I said, Logan Paul is a douche.
he
well,
is.
well,
he is
the
douche.
thing about pushing the hate thing too is that you can push the hate, just to get people there. But after a while, if you push the hate and it gets either cringe or tiresome, people are going to leave, and that's where you don't want to do it too far. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's the fine line every promoter's had to face because you need somebody to hate.
Yeah.
But then you also need that person to finally get their comeuppance.
Right.
Because you're right. If it goes on long enough,
But
fans are
still,
gonna
Logan
tune out.
Paul didn't even have his comeuppance.
Yeah.
He did not. They gave him that title because he signed a contract. That was the only reason they gave him that
He got
title.
the contract because of his name.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's the only reason he got
Yeah.
that belt.
A little sidebar on Logan Paul. Did you know that Logan Paul?
Lived down the street.
No, I don't know. Yeah, but in court documents, he refers to himself as U.S. champion.
He does.
Which is crazy.
And he lived like 5 minutes from here.
Yeah.
We grew up 5 minutes from here.
It'd be like me putting down. It'd be like Rickman putting down. I watched every WrestleMania. in his fucking bio.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Here's another thing about Logan Paul. Say what you want, he does it better in Buckshot Lariat than Hangman does.
The what?
The Buckshot Lariat. He does it better Lariat than Hangman Page.
I mean, don't get it twisted on the athleticism. Both Logan and Jake Paul are very athletic, and they're good at their sports. Wrestling, MMA, I mean, even boxing. They're really good. They think
they're better than what they actually are.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it's they were born with silver spoons in their mouth. I mean, their parents were already rich, and
true.
They just.
But Logan Paul has put in the training. You could tell he's not like some celebrities that just come in and half-ass it.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's dedication to the craft. They're just so.
I mean, but he's an asshole.
Honestly, I think most wrestlers look at him and think he's a joke because they have put in so much time into their craft. Then he comes in maybe a year training and he's got this belt and everything. I mean, LA Knight's been almost 20 years in the business.
Yeah,
you know,
he should have been.
Kevin Owens
signed. Oh. Do not get me started on the missions of Kevin Owens.
Here's my thing. For years and years and years, I could not stand Kevin Owens. We have fought on Twitter. He blocked me on Twitter. Yeah, because of something I said. And all of his fans started. One night at 2:30 in the morning, I'm getting ping, ping, ping on my phone because I said something and he didn't like it. And then he blocked me because I was going to respond. And he blocked me. But as I'm getting
fan base,
more and more, he is an awesome wrestler.
He is.
He plays an awesome heel.
I love going back watching him and Sami Zayn at NXT. It's a fantastic match.
I like watching him. He's a good wrestler. He makes you hate him, and that is the sign of a good heel. He makes you hate him.
What I would love to see Kevin Owens on a personal level. I would like Kevin Owens to acknowledge
do your show.
No, whatever he wants to do the show. If he acknowledges his French roots and pimps for the Rougeau brothers and Jacques to be in the WWE Hall of Fame, that'd be a class act.
Yeah.
To bring all the Quebecers, on board.
Well.
So I think Kevin Owens is a man at wrestling. Who was the match we were talking about? Oh, we already all agreed that. Well, besides Rickman, the 3-1 that. LA Knight's gonna win.
Well, maybe you might get Mania in Paris, and maybe that's when they induct the Rougeaus in the Hall of Fame.
That'd be sweet. If they did up in Montreal, how cool would that be? Jack, if you're watching, buddy, that'd be badass. I mean, it's got to be inevitable because eventually they run out of the '80s guys who are still. That's what I think it was it Beefcake said. It's like we asked him why did you get put in the Hall of Fame. He's like, oh, eventually they just run out of guys who are living, so they just kind of go down the roster and put me in there. So I think eventually they'll be with Jack and a lot of guys. Drew Carey did one match and they put him in the Hall of Fame. So
that was the celebrity.
Yeah. But it's like I think once they're fully divested of Vince, I think Jack will be in there.
Yeah, and
they are
pretty much. They pretty much are.
Yeah,
and I think what is he own less than 5% now?
Vince isn't even allowed in the gym that he built.
Yeah.
But speaking of Vince, well, I mean, this is probably years down the road. What happens if he does get cleared and he buys NWA or MLW? He's sitting on almost $1 billion.
He's almost 80 now. What's he going to do?
He doesn't have to do anything.
Oh,
he just has to put
Vince,
the money.
Vince will be in there with his hands going, I want this and this and this and this, and you're going to do it because I'm Vince McMahon.
And he'll do that, and there'll still be a segment of audience that will watch that.
Oh,
and
God.
The people, Billy Corgan, NWA, he had James Mitchell do coke on live pay-per-view. I think Billy Corgan isn't going to have a problem with Vince McMahon coming in there because as toxic as Vince McMahon is, and the same thing with Logan Paul, as toxic as those guys are, they bring eyeballs.
Why did Billy Corgan own that wrestling thing? Why did Dixie Carter wasn't she own it? What was that all about? What was that?
No, Dixie Carter was TNA.
Yeah, Dixie Carter was
NWA was basically dead. And Billy Corgan just bought it and tried to do something with it.
Is that like when fucking David Duchovny was WCW World Champion?
Pretty much.
David Arquette.
David Duchovny, yeah. Wrong David.
Yeah.
All right, next match.
All right.
Damian Priest and Gunther.
Oh.
I'm taking Gunther.
Is this for a belt?
Yes, for the championship.
The World Heavyweight Championship.
And Gunther's prize for winning King of the Ring.
So Gunther's a champ, right?
No,
No.
Damian
No,
Priest is.
Damian Priest.
How long has Damian Priest been the champ for?
He
Since
wanted it. He cashed in at
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, and probably
April.
next to Cody, probably the loudest ovation of the whole weekend.
Damian Priest is that much of a pop, huh?
Well, the cash-in did. Priest didn't.
Priest did, the cash-in did.
Oh, okay.
The cash-in.
He doesn't strike me as that much of a
No.
like he's kind of a non-entity. Like he's not he's a bad physique or a bad wrestler,
No.
but like he's not going to be a guy
Oh,
you
yes,
really
he
like
is.
or really hate.
Yes, he is.
He's not a
I
good wrestler?
have no. I have Damian Priest and Logan Paul, in my opinion, on the same scale. I can't stand either one of them. And I'm praying that Gunther wins tomorrow night. The guy can't talk, he can't wrestle, and he's only got the championship because he was able to cash in.
Yep.
I'm 100% behind Gunther tomorrow.
Yep. You and me both.
All right, we got a question from Mr. Tom from the panel. What do you guys
Oh,
think
I
of
was
the
going
White
to get to this later.
Six? Let's get into the White Six. What do you
What do
guys
we think of the
List
White
on.
Six?
All right, well, before we get
White
there, let's talk about
Yeah, let's finish up with the main event.
Oh, yeah, okay,
one
okay.
minute.
All right. So
Well-
who are you picking?
Who's Gunther?
I'll start your question, Tom.
I'm like 50-50. I'm 50-50 on that one. I'm gonna say Gunther, but my only trepidation on that is what do they have planned for him afterward?
So
I don't want to see Gunther win the title only to lose it to a part-time player before WrestleMania.
I want to see Gunther win it, and I want to see Sheamus. Him and Sheamus.
Yeah.
They put on a hell of a bout, man.
Did Sheamus get back in shape?
my
Gunther,
opinion,
he's getting there.
Gunther and anybody.
As far as the finish to Gunther and Priest, my opinion is that Finn Balor gets himself involved and the heel turn finally happens, and then him and Priest set up their feud going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
I like that.
I think tomorrow's the end of the Judgment Day.
And then
Or
I
Somebody
on
just
Saturday,
okay,
sorry.
no, yeah. Somebody Tom said that. I
Yes.
started that because I didn't really remember who the Judgment
Yeah.
Day was. All right, explain who the Judgment Day is and
Good
is that Gunther?
I was trying to think.
That's
I was-
Imperium's,
It's
right?
That's Imperium.
Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, Dominic, JD,
and
McDonough.
the Clown.
Oh well,
Finn Balor and Carlito.
Yes.
Well, this is one of those things. If you read the book, you get the answer beforehand. So, like when we was talking about the Rhea Ripley Dominic thing earlier,
Yes.
that's going to affect the whole Judgment Day.
This,
There's not
this,
gonna be a
this
thing
is
anymore.
this is like bigger than anything because Liv is going to finish her revenge tour,
Yes.
which means
Yes.
Damien's going to lose his belt,
Yes.
and Rhea's not going to get her
Yes.
belt, and the Finn Balor and JD McDonough, they're going to end up losing their belts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And
And-
that
yeah.
that takes out the
Yeah.
whole Judgment Day,
Yeah.
and Liv will be
Yeah,
happy.
to answer that question, my personal opinion, Saturdays will be the end of the Judgment Day.
End of the Judgment Day.
Yeah, we've had several people say that in chat. So I don't
Yes.
the beginning of the end. I don't
Yeah.
see. I don't know if you want Gunther to win by like shading me. I think Gunther,
I don't think he will. I think it'll be a clean pin.
I do too.
Yeah, and I just think the Damian Priest experience, and like you said, someone says I explained the Judgment Day. Good question.
Yeah.
I would love someone to explain what the Judgment Day is. 'Cause I have no clue.
All right, here's a good question for you. Your favorite faction,
Why it's 6.
Current or all time?
all time.
All time.
All time.
Well, let me tell you,
Oh.
but before we get in, I think that match is going to be a draw. It's going to be a double count. They're not going to know who's going to win.
No, they're not going to do that at No,
You
they're
like-
not going to do that at
Joe,
SummerSlam. No,
Joe likes things
No.
like that.
no. You're alone on that one.
I mean, that's a possibility. He said it because they can always stop. Because you got to remember, the next PLE is in Gunther's backyard.
Right.
Well, so all-time faction is being defined as 3 or more guys.
Three or more.
No.
Okay.
Well, that would have to be DX. I mean, what they did back in the '90s was, yeah, you're not going to see any of that again. So DX for me.
Can I say partial faction? Can I say a faction for a partial of the time?
Okay.
NWO up until 97. I mean, okay, speaking of Buff Bagwell, no offense to him, but him joining was the first, like,
The beginning of the
the
end.
beginning of the end. Because no offense to Buff Bagwell, but when you let Buff Bagwell in the NWO, that's kind of jumping the shark. But at the beginning, that whole angle, that whole storyline was brilliant. That's, I would say, probably top 3, top 5, like, ideas of all time. To the point where there was, like, basically lawsuits for, like, 5 years. The whole, like, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall using the Diesel, Razor Ramon, using the mannerisms, even though they weren't going by their names.
Well, they keep their finishing moves.
Yeah.
So.
Do you remember
But
when?
mine is DX.
Do you remember? This is not along that line, but do you remember the day after, maybe the day after, the week after the Montreal Screwjob. All right, Shawn Michaels was in the ring, and some midget came out, and he slapped a thing that said WCW, and the midget was dressed like Brett. Oh God, it was fucking choice. Fucking hell, that was choice, dude.
You guys love DX.
Oh, DX was good.
DX is one of my top.
Yes.
I mean, the other one was the Shield.
She loves the Shield.
Before, Shield. Yeah. The
I
Shield is
get
like my top 5. Yeah, Shield's like my top
I was going to marry
5.
Dean Ambrose, and he was going to marry Renee.
and Tom's got a one from the past, the Four Horsemen. That was a classic.
That's my all-time favorite. But getting to my question about DX, here's my conspiracy theory, and this I've had this like for the longest time. The only reason DX started doing their antics was because they wanted to get fired so they can join WCW.
No, because
I don't buy into that.
I don't buy into that one.
No.
Yeah, Michael's
the only one that
Triple
got in
H
trouble.
was a company man to and from, and that's all. That's what he's always.
Yeah, but
been.
in '97, when
he was the only one that got in trouble out of all of them.
I think Michael's gotten. I think Michael's.
No, he did not get in trouble.
He got in trouble, but not.
Nope.
And here, it was basically a tap on the wrist. But I think that draw with Bulldog at the next the pay per view after the curtain call, that draw with Bulldog. I mean Bulldog. No offense to Bulldog. We talked about him. He shouldn't be going to a draw with Shawn Michaels. it set up the rematch for King of the Ring. But I think that was just. Obviously he's world champion, and you're not going to punch the world champion. But I think that was a tap on the wrist. Here's another conspiracy theory talking about, not conspiracy theory, let me get your thoughts on something. Say in 96, even though he was, quote, world champion for WWF, what if Michaels was able to get out of his contract, and instead of Hogan being the third guy, it was Michaels? Do you think he would have been that still successful, or did it have to be?
It had to be exactly the way it did with the split up between Michaels and Diesel. Because if Michaels would have went over there
wasn't what.
If
Diesel was his bodyguard.
Yeah, if when the Outsiders went over to WCW, if Shawn Michaels would have went with them, it would not have popped the same way. No. Shawn Michaels had to stay, and it was a perfect amalgamation.
Yes.
From 97 to 2000-ish, right whenever they came out with that WCW movie,
Monday Night Wars.
Yeah, that was the best time just to be a fan, because there was actual thought into putting into the product. They weren't just mailing it in. Yeah. You get Raw now, you get NXT now, whatever. You get 2-3 hours. You can tell when they're mailing it in.
Yeah,
you just can't.
Definitely.
Back then, everything was cutting edge. They didn't care about censors. They didn't care about. Granted, it was just a different type overall, but British Beefcake, I think it was British Beefcake, told us. Most people talk about eras. The instant go to Attitude, and then the 80s is probably second after that. But it's because of that freedom that you had.
Yes.
So let me ask you guys this: do you think they're going to take it up a notch once Raw goes to Netflix?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I do.
Not as much as it will be more. It will not be Attitude Era. Now, here's the thing: when they go to Netflix, what's to stop them from holding a show at, say, the PC or even the Vegas Expo, or going back to where they do it at nightclubs? You run a TVMA show, but you run it in buildings where you don't allow children in.
Right.
As long as you don't call it ECW. They've made that mistake before.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with the explicit stuff is that you can't really. It's kind of like comedy. You can't do it all explicit. It just gets old and tiresome.
Yeah.
You gotta eke it in. You know what I mean? You have to. You should hear my routine about how much I punch my women. I did have a great joke about cheating though. It was funny. I was like, I told the wife, I can't remember the fucking joke, but I basically said, I broke up with all my side pieces. I told everybody if you're if I told you were in a relationship with me, like the status, it was a funny fucking joke. I lost it on my old computer. I had all kinds of awesome jokes on it. But when you do something over and over again like that, it gets tiresome. And with the profanity, like if every promo was just like, oh, here's the titties, fuck you, it would just get boring. So that's why you got to have the regular thing, and every now and then a fuck gets thrown in, or you see a titty in the back.
Exactly.
PG-13-ish with hints of R.
Yeah.
If you go too much towards the hard R, it just really it takes away from the actual product in terms of the wrestling. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why, I mean, the Attitude Era gets so romanticized, but that was the one thing, too, is like, everybody was doing it.
Yeah.
You were having, like, Funaki fight Scotty 2 Hotty, and they would be, like, swearing at each other and bleeding. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you say the R-rated stuff for your main eventers. You make if the roster wants to do R-rated material, you make them go out there and you reserve that for the main eventers. The main eventers and the veterans.
They can make them earn it. That's a good way to do it. That's a good way to do it. Because it's just like, I mean, you can't, and it was also just a perfect time frame for that, too. I mean, think of the time with, like, the Springer Show and the Jerky Boys and all the just the complete acidity of the late 90s. It was just a perfect time for, I mean, wrestling was bound to do that. It wasn't just wrestling. It was just the time of, this is that time, you know? Thank you, Kane. He says, I rock. I would agree. Carlos says, they need to make the matches more surprising. I agree there. I would say they need to, I don't know, man. You really
make it less predictable.
That is the number one problem with wrestling.
Yes. But you need, you honestly, you can't have one guy under an umbrella shell corporation and pretend. That's half the problem. Yeah. You have to have a physically complete separate entity to make it really work, to make it where people are trying to out-creative each other. If not, it's just going to be stuff. Because there's going to be that, you know, if you guys know Nielsen ratings, that 3.5 rating is always going to watch anything that all the wrestling puts out. But to get them 6s and 7s and 8s, you got to have that creativeness. You got to have that superstar. You got to get the people like me to watch it. If you're not, you're going to just have that, you know, basic thing, you get stale product. But if wrestling's a money loser, it really is. If you look at anybody who's trying to compete against WWE, they all lose money. It's throw money down the toilet. It really is. I mean, unless it's a passive project like The Rock or whoever, somebody comes in like, I got $100 million. We're just gonna have some fun and people, because you're gonna lose money.
Tony Khan. AEW's a fashion project.
Yeah, look at Khan. I mean, it's literally a perfect example of that.
Yeah. And I hate to say it because I love AEW. I love a lot of the wrestlers in AEW.
I only love a couple of them.
Well, about half. But jumping on what, first of all, jumping on a couple things what Joe said. First of all, I don't think you'll ever see the ratings get as high as they are in the Monday Night War just because social media.
Right.
Because and the thing is, it is so predictable. It is so formatted, and you know, pull back the curtain here, folks. I mean, I haven't watched a live wrestling show since Money in the Bank, because you can miss the TV shows as long as you follow through the PLEs.
Right.
You can miss it, and that is why ratings are in the toilet.
Right.
You're not, and the thing is, we joke about AEW. They're trying. Like the Will Ospreay MJF near 60-minute match a couple weeks ago. Their version of War Games, even though
I'll be honest, that match I started to fall asleep because it was way too long.
So did I.
It was way too long.
And that's a problem you always run into with those long matches, because there's some people that some fans just can't, you know, are just not conditioned to sit through it.
I felt the same way with MJF and Will Ospreay. Started off slow and got going, but you have to wait half an hour for it to kick into high gear.
And then you're just sitting there going, come on, finish this
and it's just like, okay,
I want to see somebody else now.
Well, here's the thing. Both Iron Man matches, but completely different styles.
Yes.
You have Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 12, and then you have The Rock and Triple H's one from Judgment Day.
Yes.
Two completely different matches.
Absolutely.
And that's just because that's the thing is WWE, they're trying, or wrestling in general, you basically cater to like almost everybody, and everybody's going to have a different preference.
Right.
But the thing is, what ties it all together is you can't make your show skippable. You just can't. I mean, what kind of business is that?
Right.
It's true.
The only reason I turn into AEW now is to see if Mox comes back.
Well, I don't think you're going to see that for a while, but
I got an awesome. I know the match will make her be the best. All right, so Roman Reigns is getting ready to leave the bloodline, right? And then he gets bullied out, and he's like, "All right, I'm coming in with my boys." And then you hear done it, and then both fucking Rollins and then Mox come down.
I flipped out when Seth came out to the Shield music.
Dude, we all did.
I'm sitting there, oh my god, yes! Joe's like, what? I'm like, is it?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's just
Just the one.
okay.
And then there's another like one more idea, just finishing up the point Joe started. You talk about like different creators. I always thought that they should have done the brand extension as a complete shoot, where you have like it's not just like back in the day. It's like Vince, and now it's Triple H and everyone else.
Yeah.
You don't have the same person. You do have completely different Raw and SmackDown, and you try to make it like as different as
SmackDown
possible.
was dominating for a long time.
Oh yeah, well that's because they had Paul Heyman writing it
That's
first.
Right.
I always thought they should have done that. Do the brand extension as the real shoot brand extension, real like a real one.
Yeah, but until you get that entity where it's literally a competing thing. I mean, it doesn't necessarily even have to be Monday Night Wars up against each other, although it'd be sweet. But yeah, it has to be competing 100%.
Well,
this fake competition, thing.
Yeah.
It's whatever. People are.
Well,
just
here's the thing: is wrestling needs something that's going to bring everybody back to watching it. The last time, and this wraps up what we were talking about earlier with NWO and DX. The last time that happened was Hogan turning heel, forming the NWO.
I'll tell you what brought me back to wrestling, because I got out of wrestling for a while because it was just, I just couldn't just sit there anymore because it was always the same storylines.
Yeah,
The Shield coming up.
that
I'm like, who is that?
Yeah.
I think that's
That
Triple
brought me
H's
back.
really like first big
Yes.
story.
That brought me back in, and I've been back ever since, and sometimes a little too much, but I've been back in it.
Just like everyone else that's like crying about Daredevil, or not Daredevil. Is it Daredevil or what? Deadpool spoiler. Crying about Deadpool spoilers and Robert Downey Jr. Basically
Yeah.
Coming
playing
in as
somebody
Dr.
else.
Doom. Yeah.
Dr. Doom.
Yeah, Dr. Doom. It's just like the same thing. It's like we're passionate. I mean, obviously, some people do take their passion way too far. When you go and do stuff illegal, try to like attack the wrestlers and
Yeah.
stuff like that. That's like way too far. But yeah, like I don't understand why. Like that's a good question. Why do wrestling fans get such a bad rap? Because if if you're a star,
Because people think we're stupid because we watch fake fighting.
well, guess what?
I mean,
Everything you see on
am I
TV is
wrong?
fake.
Yeah, that's why people look at you.
that-
You're like,
that's-
oh, I'm into wrestling. And they're
That's
like,
the stigma.
oh, my kid watches that.
Yeah.
You know it's fake, right?
Yeah.
No, you're telling me it's fake?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Wow.
Oh,
It's like,
man.
well, guess what? Game of Thrones is fake.
It's a TV. It's an episodic TV show.
That's it.
That's exactly what it is. Some people, like some women during the day, watch soap
That's
operas.
exactly what it is.
I watch wrestling on Mondays. I watch it on
Friday nights.
Wednesdays.
Yeah.
I watch it on Fridays. I watch it if it's on Saturdays. I mean, I'm always watching.
Yeah.
We have a new viewer. Stephen Butler says hello from Ireland.
Oh, wow.
Hello.
Wow. Nice.
Hello.
Pug Mahone, Stephen, welcome to the Prairie.
Howdy.
We're just talking about wrestling and weed. Not really talking about weed,
No,
but
we're not talking about weed.
I like weed though. All right, what was the? Do we
How
have?
about we can go around the table and guess who's on the team? That would be kind of fun.
What is the? Was there another match you guys talk
One
about?
last
One more.
match.
Main event: Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa.
Cody Rhodes is the Universal Champion. No,
No, he's the world champion.
well, he's the main
He
champion.
used to be they used to call it the
He's a champ.
Universal.
It's
title.
not. It's yeah. There's the.
He's a WWE champion.
Yeah, the one that Hogan had that
Yeah.
main line.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
and he's wrestling
Solo
solo.
Sikoa of the Bloodline.
yeah.
He's is he like second or third under Reigns?
He's the
Second
tribal
when he
chief
was
now.
season.
So there's like Roman Reigns and the
Yes.
Usos and then
Yes.
that guy, right?
Yes.
There's no way this guy
Well,
wins.
he was
right?
the enforcer. No,
No, I know this guy wins. Rhodes mops the floor with him. There's no way in hell. Rhodes just got this belt a couple months ago. I was there, not there, but I saw that
Yeah.
match. There's no way he loses this soon. I think it's gonna be a good match.
I think he loses it.
Oh,
I
he's
think he
horrible.
loses it.
I do too.
I'm saying this. I'm a Cody Rhodes fan. Him and I are friends on Facebook. All I can say is, like, LA Knight has more charisma than Cody Rhodes does.
Yeah.
He's more likable than
Oh.
Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is fun, and he likes to have fun in the ring, and I like that for him. You know, like when the guy asked him to be his best man at his wedding. You know, he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it." You know, I mean, he connects with his fans, but there's something lacking. I don't know what it is, but there is something definitely lacking.
He doesn't
from
have his
championship.
daddy's charisma.
He
doesn't
doesn't.
have it as daddy's charisma. And honestly, you talk about Hall of Fame, and I'm sure he's going to get inducted. I'm sure he'll get inducted whenever he comes back. But Goldust should be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing about Goldust, that character would have been canceled about 4 times if anyone tried it today.
So my daughter asked me the other day, we were watching, and she's like, Mom, whatever happened to Stardust? I said, he's right there on the screen.
Yeah.
I said it was Cody. She's like, no, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
That was Cody. And she's like, but he was my favorite. And I'm like, there's your favorite.
All right, so it's Cody. Yeah, so Cody's going to map before this guy. Now, there's 2 things we haven't really talked about yet. We haven't talked about the Wyatt 6.
All right, let's talk. Well,
So,
wait.
They're
Cody-
Monday.
Cody
Wyatt
or
6
Solo?
is Monday.
I'm going with Solo.
You're going solo.
For everybody out there who's been following the
I'm going
WWE,
Solo.
I think we all know that whenever the Bloodline's involved in the main event, we all know that this is going to be a complete clusterfuck. Everybody's going to be showing up in this match. We're going to have Cody versus Solo. Of course, we're going to have Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa showing up. Jimmy Uso has been cleared by his doctors and trainers. He's going to be involved. I'm sure Jey Uso, and I think
they said no.
No, you don't think so?
I read today that they're trying to keep Jay as a singles wrestler, and they don't want him.
Then why teaming up with Sammy?
They want him to stay on Raw.
Yeah.
All right, what about this?
If he were to come back to the Bloodline, he'd have to come back to SmackDown. They want him on Raw because he is main event. Jay.
Do they ever follow their brand splits? Or they can do a trade. Okay.
No, I don't want them to trade. I want Jay on Raw.
No, here's what you do.
He has gone so far since he has left the Bloodline. He has gone so far.
A million, and
he doesn't need
I,
them.
a million. I do 1,000,000% agree with you.
Roman
Reigns is going to come out after the match.
Yeah.
And for all the viewers out there, I completely 100% agree. Roman Reigns will return on Saturday.
Well, if Reigns comes out on Saturday, is he going to help?
I think so. He's going to help Solo win the world title. Yes.
And then he's going to go after Solo.
Yes.
Who are you picking?
That's. I've been going back and forth. I'm picking Cody.
Okay.
Only because WWE already gave away, and I don't know if this will be the ending, but WWE already gave away that they're doing Cody and The Rock eventually for the title. They already gave that away the night after WrestleMania. That kind of sabotaged Cody's reign. You think, because now it's like
Maybe he'll get the belt back, but I don't see him
there's no
keeping
reason why they can't give Solo a short run.
it. Yeah.
I agree,
To
but the
go
thing
along
is,
with the storyline, the Bloodline storyline,
and
He's gonna
that
get
makes a lot of sense. My heart says Solo, my brain says Cody, and there's a lot of great reasons why Solo does make sense.
Yeah.
Being champion, because honestly,
I think Cody can take the loss more than Solo can right now.
Yeah.
Solo needs to win. He's got to keep up
Cody
the
doesn't
balance.
need the belt.
Yes.
And Cody proved that whole year between WrestleMania 39 and 40.
Mhm.
He doesn't need the
He doesn't
title.
need the belt.
And honestly, I think Cody is a much better heel.
Yes.
And that's a whole story you can get into like afterwards.
I can't get behind him as champion. I can't do it.
And a
I
lot of
can't
people
either.
can't.
Yeah.
And a lot of people know it's just like, okay, when is, because the whole thing was he was outshined by The Rock. And now, let me ask you guys this. Anyone who saw that YouTube documentary heard the story that it was originally supposed to be Rock and Roman.
Yes.
And Cody
Yes.
was supposed to be on the outside.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that's just kind of for the story. But regardless, one thing I found interesting about that whole thing was one of Rock's writers, that Gerwitz, I can't pronounce
Brian
his-
Gerwitz.
Yeah. He came out and basically trashed Cody and said it was up to him. He would have turned it back into Stardust because he got mad because he feels Cody basically half-assed that promo when he was supposed to give that title shot to The Rock. He goes,
But wouldn't you half-ass it too?
yes, but the thing is, that was Cody going to business for himself.
No.
And the reason I don't buy it is what would have been what if Cody wasn't in the main event against Reigns? What would he have done? Because it wasn't going to be Rollins, Because
They would've
Rollins
figured
and
it out.
Punk would have been. I mean, maybe Triple H really thought they could convince MJF to jump over.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think he was worried about
Yeah.
MJF.
No.
But I just called a little bit of BS because I want to know, like, okay, what was your plan for Cody if it was Rock and
Yeah.
Roman? Well,
Yeah,
that's,
they never revealed that they're in
yeah,
They
yeah.
won't.
That's like my.
Because that might be a future storyline.
right.
I mean, honestly, I would have loved to see him in Styles.
Well-
I think him and Styles could have had a much longer feud.
That would have been okay.
But yeah,
That would've been okay.
my head says Cody, my heart says Solo, and like I said, the way they've been telling the story, you have to pull the Roman return sooner rather than later. There's only like
They
two.
got to set up for bad blood.
Yeah, the only two times you do it is you can either do it Saturday, or a lot of people are saying like, well, why do you want to put Roman Reigns on Fox when basically SmackDown might be in a kind of a lame duck until they go on USA?
It's not going to be a lame duck.
But what you could do is when they go on USA on September 13th, that could be Roman's like return.
Mm.
And I don't
I think
think-
he's come. I
People
think
said he's already in town.
he's
He's
already
here.
in town.
He's in Cleveland. There's been reports that they've seen him.
But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, Roman. I mean, we could talk all we want. But Roman
Yeah.
is in Cleveland right
Right,
now.
yes.
So.
Yeah.
yeah. But
All
that
of them are
doesn't
in
mean
Cleveland.
he's
Yeah, they don't have him in
Yeah.
Cleveland for no
Yeah.
reason. He's going to be at SummerSlam.
I'm predicting he does show up. I'm just saying I wouldn't. I just don't want people getting pissed if he doesn't.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking he does because the
He'll
only
be
other
there.
time would be the SmackDown debut on USA,
Right.
and it kind of like lines up the whole like Bloodline Civil War storyline perfectly. Here's how I would lay it out real quick. So like after the match, Cody wins by a fluke. Whatever, keeps Solo looking strong. Bloodline beat him down. Roman comes out. Bloodline hightail it because Solo knows Roman's coming for his ass. But instead of helping Cody, Roman spears Cody. That way you don't go right into the Roman's a pure babyface. You kind of keep him.
He's already at a babyface
Yeah.
level.
Yeah, but I don't want to see him like. I don't want to see him
I liked him
endorsing
better.
Cody though.
I liked him better as a babyface.
I do too.
I liked him better
Yes.
as a babyface.
Yeah,
So
I can get behind him a lot more.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, yes.
And I'm not arguing with you that's obviously he's going to be the baby face eventually. That's been their plan for a decade.
Right.
Right,
That's been their plan ever since 2015
right.
for Roman to be the top baby face of the top baby face of
Well, he was
of
a
the
top
company.
heel for a long time.
Yeah. But I just don't think you don't have to do it like overnight. I think you can because there's going to be two huge pops. There's going to be the huge pop when Roman returns, and there's going to be the huge pop when he finally gets his hands on Solo. So who's to say he doesn't get his hands on Solo, but that happens later on.
Well, Don writes, I really hate Cody. Looks like Ken from the Barbie movie. He'll always be the dashing jobber. Do you think, in your guys' opinions, Cody's a champ now, but do you think he'll ever be that guy? You know what I'm talking
I don't.
That's
No?
what they were trying to.
Yeah.
You think
they
he
were
has the
trying
potential
to make
at all?
him. I think he
That's
has potential, but he's not there yet.
Yeah.
about? Okay. Do you think he'll ever get there? He's 37, 38 years old.
Right.
He's
He'll
not,
get there.
He's not
Yeah,
a
he'll
spring
get
chicken
there.
yet.
He'll
Okay.
get there.
Okay.
He'll get there.
You know what?
All right.
I don't
All right,
know.
I think that wraps up the main card.
say
And
no.
All right, and then
so we have some questions.
Wyatt 6.
yeah, you notice there's one group we didn't talk about, or that was not at this card. I want to ask you people, why is the Wyatt 6 one of the hottest things they got going right now? Why would they put him at the big main event of the summer? What's the
Because
deal?
they have a match saved for Monday Night Raw.
Oh,
They're doing a 6-man tag.
okay.
Yes.
Now who's in?
Guys and,
It's going to be Eric Rowan, Dexter Loomis, and Joe Gacy versus Chad Gable and the Creed brothers.
Okay.
and it's going to be epic.
Eric Redbeard should win that. I like that guy. I just like him because he was on the show.
Yeah, I'm torn a lot. I'm 95% saying Wyatt 6. But you have to remember, this is long-term storytelling.
Yeah, it's a long.
I mean, this story is going to probably go 18 months, all the way to WrestleMania 42, which, by the way, I'm calling right now will be in Miami. Rock's going to get that done.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
I'm behind that.
Because that's going to be his retirement match, whoever. But basically you're gonna see the story go for a year. But because we don't know what is up with Uncle Howdy. Is he a human? Is he kind of like a manifestation of like Bo's split personality?
They've already done that though. They've merged the two together.
Yeah.
They've merged the two together in the one
Oh, when
video.
they did the video.
Yeah, that's what
they
the therapy
merged the
sessions
two
have been
together.
for. Yeah.
So they're already. Everybody knows Uncle Howdy is.
Bo Dallas.
But they're thinking he should be called Taylor Wyatt.
I love that.
I love that.
I love that. Yes.
That is the
I've
last
seen
thing
that
I
online.
heard.
I love it.
I love Taylor Wyatt.
Yes.
I think that puts him with his brother, but beyond his brother. He's making a name for himself as well. You know?
And that's a great. What I was going to get to the point to is, I don't know, like there's like a 1% chance the Wyatts do lose, only to lead to more like what is Uncle Howdy going to do then?
Obviously,
I
don't think they're going to lose for a while.
It should, and they shouldn't, but there's always that like
Nikki Cross coming off that top rope. I was like, yes,
Yeah.
get it, girl. She's so underrated.
Yeah.
It's not even funny.
Well, that whole group is like
That's how I feel
underrated.
about
That's
Dexter Loomis.
part
I
of
love
it.
Dexter Loomis.
Yeah, and that's like the whole point, because obviously you have Roland is really the only one in that group with the direct connection to Wyatt.
Yeah,
he's the only one of the original three still alive. The other two guys,
Luke Harper.
Yep.
Yeah, and honestly, and the only other one, like Alexa Bliss, I don't think she would have made sense. Even if she does come back, which I don't even know.
She's not coming back.
Yeah, because obviously, and you know what? Good for her. Stay out. Go enjoy. Go enjoy your life as a wife and a mother.
Yeah.
Especially to that celebrity husband of yours. I'm all for her staying away. But the thing I'm trying to say is a lot of people were thinking that Alexa should be in the Wyatt Six, when in reality, I know
Nikki Cross is amazing in it.
she is. And also, Alexa Bliss turned on Bray during Bray's last match, that god-awful WrestleMania 37 match against Orton.
Yeah.
So, I know a lot of people love Alexa. I just don't see her.
Yeah, she's not going to be in the Wyatt Six.
No. I'm also a fan of Joe Gacy. He's lost a lot of weight. He looks great, and I think he's going to have big things.
All three look really, really good.
They really do.
Yeah, and that's probably why, because they were probably told, like, hey, we got something. Yeah, they were probably motivated because they probably were let in, like, okay, we got you. We're going to put you in a main event angle. Oh shit, I'm going to be in the main event. I'm going to hurry up and get. I'm gonna be in my tip top shape.
Right.
Because the last thing you want to do is be a main eventer, and then get hurt, and then you're not in that main event again. Yeah. I.e. Finn Balor.
Dexter definitely took that ball and ran with it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he did.
And I tell you, that whole family is, and that we talk about great wrestling families, and maybe because they've never been really linked together on TV. But that whole Rotunda family too, you got to put them in their conversation as
Barry Windham.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Barry Windham, I
love Barry
he's
Windham.
running around feuding with the Horsemen and Dusty Rhodes. So you can't help but learn to be a great talker.
Yeah.
I remember when he first came over to WWF and he was the Widowmaker.
Mm-hmm.
He cut some badass promos.
Yeah.
Dude. Badass promos.
Dude, you have if we can look, I've never seen any of his Widowmaker WWE work.
You gotta watch that shit, man.
Yeah, I might have to look that up.
Any other questions out there, Joe?
I got no questions from the chat, but let's talk what we're gonna do for the game, for the match here. You guys said the pre-show starts at 4.
4. Yep.
You guys want to eat, right? So go to the Boykin Lizard, maybe.
Yeah.
What time do you guys want to get?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you guys what time you want to be over here. What time you guys want to go?
Show up.
Traffic's going to be a living nightmare.
Traffic's not.
There's a tribe game, and there's all kinds of shit going on.
Everything's going on downtown.
Yeah, there's a concert.
Jelly
My
Roll's
Chemical Romance.
That's it. The House of Blues and then the fucking Hot Tour bitches gonna be.
Jelly Roll's going to be at SummerSlam too.
At the one thing, and then
Jelly Roll's going to be.
Jelly Roll's going to be down there.
He's doing the outside right in the middle.
So
is he really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to bring some weed down there because, for one, you are. Well, you got the thing in here, and it's like this. I mean, there's going to be some matches that I may not be interested in this. Probably gonna be a dark match or two.
Well, then you walk away from me.
Yeah, of course. Oh, duh. I'm not gonna smoke in the bowl, but I'm saying I can just go out to the southeast
I'm gonna be by
patio.
myself most of the time.
That's where I'll be at. Section 104, South Side.
So if you see your boy out there, we'll probably smoke. But I think what we do is we got a question from Drew. How about a fuck yeah for Steve McMichael going to the NFL? I can fuck with that. Steve McMichael going to the NFL Hall of Fame.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. He was
former Horseman.
former on the 85 Bears, bro. He was there.
Yeah.
That whole defense. When I was little, we lived in that. I was talking yesterday to was it yesterday? Mike Jamont? Yeah, it was yesterday. God damn, I'm doing a lot of shows this week. I was talking to Mike Jamont yesterday. He thought he lived in the Chicago Burbs. Back in from 82 to 87, we lived there, and was there for the 85 Bears. And McMichael was there.
Go Bears.
Yeah.
William Perry and fucking
the refrigerator.
Gary
who would've won
Fensick and
that
Richard
match?
Dent.
McMichael or Perry? Who would have won that match, McMichael or Perry?
Probably McMichael because Perry just was out of shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember the Fox Celebrity Boxing with Manute Bull and William Perry? They were just standing there. If you guys want to, don't do it all now while you're still watching us, but after the show, go to YouTube and type in Manute Bull, William the Refrigerator Perry, Fox Celebrity Boxing. It's so funny. They're literally just standing there, barely moving. The guy's like, you guys got to fight or we're not going to pay you. He literally says that in the middle of the match. It's great.
And if you want to hear Steve McMichael commentating, just watch the early episodes of WCW Monday Nitro on Peacock.
What I liked about McMichael was when he used to go to the WCW and they never had the NFL trademarks. He would just wear that generic-ass Chicago coat. You remember that?
But you would think that that WCW would have just paid whatever the license or the rights fee to. I mean, they were basically burning money there at one point anyway.
Back then they weren't exactly forward-thinking. They didn't exactly have good businessmen working for them.
Right.
Most of these people are hotheads, so that's why a lot of these guys who own bars, who own wrestling rinks, boxing matches, they're hotheads. They don't know how to run a fucking business. They don't. There's basic economic laws you got to look into. And these people put their hopes and dreams on bullshit. They never pay their people. You got to have risk. You got to be risk averse. You got to do feasibility studies before you do any kind of business venture. Most wrestling things lose money. It's just the way of the business. Unless you got some guys, wanting to do things, and you work fucking 20 hours for $300. There's way better ways to make money in wrestling than
You know why? Yeah, and you gotta pay your wrestlers more than a hot dog and a cold beer or a warm beer. Which, not to say, and I remember because I was talking to
I used to do
BJ
a lot of
Whitmer.
indie stuff on Mega Championship.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know Frenchy still, but yeah, it's not that bad. But you got to remember, there's still a lot of them are still starting out, and any AIW fans, shout out to PME. When I heard this match was announced for tonight at their show, PME against the Motor City Machine Guns. As an AIW fan, I'm like, damn, that's kind of like a dream match. Because PME is kind of like AIW's best tag
Ray
team.
Hawkins out 4 to 6 weeks, strained knee.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well,
But here, the reason I bring up the Motor City Machine Guns is
The one on the Browns.
It's a big loss for them.
no, the guy from the Browns, the running back, Deontay Foreman, he's healthy. They say he got cleared earlier. This flew out as a precaution because they're training at Greenbrier, and the nearest hospital is Roanoke, and the helicopter's fast the way to get them there.
weren't they training with the Hillbillies in West Virginia?
Yeah, they're at Greenbrier, the old
Hey, that's my
FDI
family.
facility.
Stop
Yeah.
that.
My family too.
But
That's why I can talk about that.
Kane says you rock. He says Kim rocks.
Oh, thank you.
It says Andy says yeah she does. Kim knows the deal. So hell yeah. So in terms of seats, you're sitting in the floor. You said right
For SmackDown tomorrow night.
where are you sitting for SummerSlam?
Section 104, South Side.
Southside 104.
Hey,
Okay.
SmackDown.
We're in the
might
dog
see
pound.
Okay.
So if you're looking at here, I'll hold up my sheet of papers for those at home know what we're talking about. So imagine this is Cleveland Browns Stadium, right?
Looks
This is the lake. This is the west side.
Yeah.
This is the east side. We are on the east side in the dog pound right up here. The arena's gonna be right here. They usually block off the west side, and Steve is gonna be like right over here-ish. Stadium's right here. He's like right here. So he's got pretty good seats actually.
Yeah, pretty good.
Probably better than us.
Pretty good.
So that's where we're going to be at. We're probably going to meet up at, what time you should come over? About 4 maybe?
Yeah, see what 4 o'clock.
All right, so he's
Yeah.
going to come over here. We're going to smoke some weed. and then
He's gonna smoke some
He's
weed.
gonna smoke weed.
I'm not. I'm
and
good.
then we're gonna get and me, him, and I might just get you a ticket right behind him, so that way you guys can go down tomorrow. 'Cause I don't. Well, what are you doing tomorrow? Are you driving down tomorrow for SmackDown? Or are you gonna?
I was gonna try to take it rapid, but
Okay.
whatever you guys want to do.
All right, we'll figure out.
Yeah.
We'll worry about.
It's just me. He's not going.
And,
Oh, yeah, I'm about
hey.
to go to SmackDown. What's up?
A little bit for the news. Any rapid goers downtown? The RTA said the waterfront line is going to be open.
Oh, okay. That
Okay,
could be a game
cool.
changer for you on SmackDown.
Okay.
You can just take that right the way down. But yeah. So
Now you don't want to take me. What the fuck, dude?
no, I'll,
Honest to God, I swear to God,
We could
he
get her.
changes his mind
If you
25
get her ticket, me, I can
times.
come pick her up. She can ride with me.
yeah, that might
Yeah.
work. But for Saturday,
Saturday.
Saturday.
4 o'clock, meet here. We're
Okay.
gonna smoke some weed,
You-
and then we'll drive downtown.
Yep.
We'll
Go get our drink out at the Weekend Lizard.
we'll park probably at the usually because that lot might be even more expensive. How far you guys want? Well, you know what? Fuck, it's gonna be 50 and up no matter where we go.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So
I
what
wouldn't be surprised if we see $100 in some lots.
I'll probably do is just keep going down 9th and the closest I can get to
Well, the rule
Lakeside.
of
I'll just
thumb
park
is
there.
usually, I think the rule of thumb is like usually, I think everything's like twice as much as the Browns.
Well,
games.
for some of these side lots, especially one Superior and the one on Lakeside, there's 2 lots I know of might be a little cheaper than normal because I don't think they're going to be cognizant of the SummerSlam just because it's a random ass
So your
event.
season pass doesn't get you as far as the lots go?
I don't have the season pass for the Brownies,
Okay.
no, because it's so much. It's so much
Yeah.
extra. It's like fucking it's $100 a day for these guys. I think it's pretty nice shit.
Wow.
But so we'll park one of those lots. We'll get lunch at the Lizard, breakfast, whatever the fuck it's called. And then we'll go over to the Brown Stadium about 6, right? 6
Yeah.
sound okay?
Yeah.
What time does it start?
6:45, 7.
All right, so we'll
Well, it
leave.
starts at 7.
7. Yeah.
So we'll leave about 6. It's about a 10 minute walk from there, and we'll go down Lakeside to 9th, take a left past the Rock Hall, and then past the Science Center, and then we'll be right there past the firefighter statue, and we're just gonna go right there in the dog pound, and Steve's gonna go to the left. We'll both be on the first level.
Yep.
And then afterwards, we'll probably be just so tired. But if we got some energy, maybe we'll smoke some weed before we go down there. So we'll
Well, that'll kill it.
But yeah, so it should be a good time,
Yeah.
man. If you're down there, say hi to every one of us besides poor Joe. He's got to work.
I think they're expecting about 50,000
Yeah.
people this weekend.
If you get gas at Gecko, you can say hi to me.
Yeah, it says Ken writes, pull your ear if you want to be rescued, kid. Uh,
I know you guys are giving me like the biggest case of FOMO I have
Yeah.
ever seen.
right?
But like I said, first show, the Brook Park Dome, whatever they end up calling it, I'm there.
Right? Hell yeah. Drew says you're taking rain ponchos. It is gonna probably rain. I'm not. I got the GoPro waterproof. Steve might. I don't know.
For the viewers out there not attending SummerSlam, and you want to support WWE, I know that there's going to be 2 separate locations for the WWE Superstore. So get downtown and get your gear.
Yeah.
There's a ton of stuff. There's the WrestleCon. There's a couple like pregame parties. I think AIW's gonna do one that's got Chris Van Vliet's gonna be there.
I would imagine most bars downtown will have some obscure ass wrestler hosting some kind of event.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
'Cause that's just the way these
Absolutely.
kind of things work.
Rikishi
yes.
usually does things like that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You also you're gonna have Sami Zayn. I think Taker's doing the
I
show.
think you said Kevin Nash is going to be at the Key Tower, WrestleCon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Sam Roberts is doing a show at Hilarities.
Yeah.
It's probably a great place. I saw
Yeah.
JR and
Last
Gene there.
night, the Nemeth brothers were in
Yeah.
town
Yeah.
for Hunkamania.
Sami Zayn's doing his comedy show at the Agora.
Right.
Yeah. I think Ziggler comes back as Nick Nemeth for as part of that
So,
WWE team.
They
crossover.
asked him. I watched an interview with him, and they asked him, since WWE is doing things with TNA, how do you feel about coming back into? He goes, what name would I use? He goes, nobody knows what name I would use. He goes, so I'd rather not. He goes, I'm Nick Nemeth now. I am not Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess the only thing is like maybe you present a thing where like he would have to probably come in and cut like a promo.
He
He
said
would have to come in as a heel, I think.
he said if he were to get a match with Randy Orton, he would come back. He goes, if they want me to wrestle someone like Randy Orton, I would come back. He goes, but I'm not going back to NXT. And that's where most of the TNA guys
Yeah,
are going,
and
is
at
NXT.
points like Dolph Ziggler, Nick. I mean, great guy, but I mean, he's getting up there in age too. I mean, but who knows? He could be like next Cody or the next Drew McIntyre guys that got let go from the company. But maybe, that might be a little bit too late in his career for him to do that, for him to make that comeback.
He's just having fun now and doing what he wants to do.
And honestly, that's probably. I mean, he honestly thought he was going to be a lifer. I would imagine so.
Well, 20 years is almost a lifer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It just, but
It's time
he's
to do
doing
something different.
He's doing a great job for himself.
Yeah.
He was, he's like the TNA champion.
Yeah.
I think he was a New Japan champion there for
Mhm.
a little bit, feuding with one of Finley's sons.
Mhm.
So and he's like a down to earth guy. I remember when I worked at Target years ago, I had like a 15-minute conversation with him.
Oh yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where
I'll never forget the day I posted a picture of him kicking somebody in the corner, and I said, "Welcome home," and he reposted the picture and said, "I'm sorry, I love you." And this one wakes me up the next day going, what's this mean? And I'm like, it's Nick being Nick. What do you want?
I mean, I'm sure he had his share of fun.
He's got lots of friends around here still. He is.
Him and
Him and his brother still live together.
Yeah.
Him and his brother still live together.
Hey, but
if you want to be like me, you gotta have years of drinking first, and then you gotta forget about them years, and then start smoking weed, and then you gotta get a YouTube show, and then you gotta start emailing people constantly. It takes a lot of emails, a lot of messages. I got lots. Like I send out 5, 10, 15, 20 messages a week, a day. I don't even know. It's ridiculous.
It's annoying.
And you gotta be able to deal with rejection. Take the rejection. That's why people are like, why you got so much confidence you'll get fucked? It's because I ask all these people to be on the show, and half these people don't respond, so I just don't care.
Or they say they will, and then they
they go. One of these days, if I ever come up with a list, you guys would be shocked. The people who said, "Yeah, I'll do the show," and then I'm like, "All right, what time? How about next Monday at 8?" And they just never respond. They'll go, "Oh no, that's cool. Let me propose an alternate time." They just don't respond to the message.
Don't respond at all.
It's like playing a game of tic-tac-toe. I put an X out there, and the guy just fucking walks out, and doesn't say anything. What do you want me to do here? Do you forfeit? I don't know. What do you want me to do? What's the next move?
Rob Van Dam has screwed you for months now.
I think Rob Van Dam's just too high. I think he's that kind of stoner that smokes weed and just forgets everything. There is that kind of stoner, but I think that's more CTE than it is the weed, personally. He probably got hit in the head a lot.
Oh god, and
the
there's still okay. What are your guys' opinion about the Jack Perry unprotected chair shot? I got a lot of hate about that. I mean,
I didn't even watch it.
Yeah, me neither.
I only saw clips of it, and yeah, that chair wasn't gimmicked, which I'm like 99% sure it was, but knowing Darby Allin, you never can tell.
My back probably is. My front, I don't know if it's hairy enough. If I can pull out George Daniel still. And I don't know if enough people will get the reference. Oh, some old people, Drew's asking if I'm hairy enough to pull out George Daniel still. I don't think enough people will get the reference. On the back, I am. I don't think I am in the front. I might be. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't think enough people get the reference to where it'd be good enough. I mean, if I was at a wrestling convention, maybe. I wouldn't do it at a SummerSlam. I don't want to be.
I love George.
Well, I do too. But I'm not trying to be shirtless at a wrestling event. I mean, nobody knows George Campbell still without a shirt on. So. Yeah, don't start drinking. That was just hypothetical. But if you wanted to be like me, you'd probably have to have years of drinking to forget about.
Yeah.
But regardless, thanks to Joe, Steve, and Kim for coming out to the show. Tomorrow, I'm sure I'll be live at some point. I don't know because we got to coordinate transportation, all that stuff. But that definitely check us out, SummerSlam. And I'll be in DC at the Gaylord. What's it called? Gaylord. Hold on. I got an email from them the other day. Trip at your Gaylord National in Silver Springs, Maryland, from the 17th of August to the 23rd of August. If you're there for the podcasting conference, come say hi. Regardless, come say hi. I'm sure there's gonna be a little downtime. We can probably smoke some weed or eat some edibles or hit a vape pen. I don't know. We'll figure out something. You know me, I'm a walking party, so hit me up then. And guys know the Brown schedule. Until then, guys, thanks for coming out, and we'll talk to you later.
Thanks, guys. All right. That was awesome.